that house. Again, this is on the very day, January 4th, where they are coming to him for the first time about a missing woman. He not only allowed them in the house, he allowed them to search the house, a cursory search of this house, which I am also told to the naked eye showed nothing. There was no blood evidence that was visible. There was no knife evidence that was visible. The house looked absolutely normal. What didn't seem normal were the circumstances and his demeanor. The spidey senses of the detectives were so intrigued that they returned to the house that day on January 4th and yet again said, we'd like to do some looking around a little more carefully. Not only that, and here's where it's significant. This case became a part of the DA the very next day on January 5th. That is a critical element here. And the reason we know that this is critical is because the DA only gets involved in cases where there is likely a body, potentially a body, not necessarily a murder, but maybe a body. So we know by the 5th, 24 hours after a well-being check, that there are such weird circumstances, the suspicions that there might actually be a body involved in this case. Just one day afterwards, a couple of other things. Police saying it didn't feel right, and that's a quote. And also, his demeanor seemed off, and that's a quote. The babysitter, dinner guest, who left around 1:30 in the morning after a New Year's Eve dinner, has been interviewed, very helpful. Luminol was used all throughout that house, not just in the basement, not just on the first floor. The banister leading to the second floor also covered in luminol. And luminol was what ultimately turned up the evidence of blood. Here's what's significant. You've probably heard there was blood in the basement, there was blood on a knife, a broken knife. It wasn't visible to the naked eye. It had been cleaned. It was the luminol that actually revealed the blood evidence on the floor of the basement and also on the knife. A few other things that I know you're very intrigued about, and that is the arrest itself. Here's how it went down. The police came to the house. Of course, the children are there and the dog is there. They have a German Shepherd named Hans. And so they wanted to do this very carefully. This is a small town police department. There's 8,000 people who live here. It's a very sensitive issue when you're going to arrest a father with 3 kids under the age of 6. DCFS came with them. We are told tonight those children are together. They are in foster care, and I am told they are friendly faces. That's a quote. They are friendly faces, and that relatives are involved. That's the only way it was characterized to me. Relatives are involved. I want to tell you that a lot of this information comes from multiple law enforcement sources that I spoke to, all the way from Quincy, Massachusetts, where this actual hearing took place, all the way down the coast to here in Cohasset. Multiple officers giving me this narrative today. As for the dog, another piece of information that's significant and interesting and a bit heartwarming as well. Hans the dog was also taken by animal control. And I'm told he's in foster care tonight as well. But it's nice to know that he's a retired police officer that's looking after Hans the dog. A couple of things that you need to know that came out in court today that we have not heard before and did not expect to hear. Let's start with Home Depot. You know about that visit and all the shopping that's alleged to have happened, all the buckets and mops and tarps that were bought. We also know that the son, the 6-year-old son, did come to Home Depot, but he's not seen on camera inside the store. So that means that that child was probably left in the car for the length of time that it took to make all those purchases in Home Depot. I am also told, this exclusive information coming to News Nation, that bleach was used to clean up this scene, as well as hydrogen peroxide. I can also tell you this, inside the home, the Christmas tree is still up. It's still partially decorated. There's still a jack-o'-lantern on the kitchen table, something that looks like it might have been either for a child or designed by a child. And in one of the more heartbreaking pieces of information that came out from this house that is no longer a crime scene, but is still a house that's rented by Bryan Walshe's mother, there is a baby bottle, and it's on a sort of a bench that's by the front door of the house. And that baby bottle is about 3/4 empty. But that child won't be using that bottle again. And who knows when there'll actually be a cleanup that comes to that house and that scene. But the police say that they typically leave information behind for a cleanup. Also want to let you know, you probably saw some evidence in some of the other pictures of evidence tape, blue and white evidence tape. There's plenty of it that's still up. And one significant shot, I'm going to ask our control room to put the picture up of the basement door. That is the basement door that leads into the house from the outside. And if you look, it looks sort of dirty and smudged, but that is luminol. That is the purple residue of luminol of that door that leads from the outside of the house down to the basement. It is not the only entrance to the house that goes to the basement. There's an interior door that also goes to the basement, and the luminol would have been used on those door handles as well. So a lot of information that came to us exclusively, and then there's some court information that is also just sort of jaw-dropping in this case. And let me get you up to speed on some of that. Because as we learned earlier, that Home Depot purchase was $450 in cash. But before this, we didn't know some of the products that were purchased. And goggles were among the purchases. Boot covers for your shoes and baking soda. That's going to be significant in a moment when I tell you what the Google searches revealed. So remember that. Baking soda was purchased at the Home Depot. Home Goods was also visited on that same day, on January 3rd, that the Home Depot was visited. First Home Depot, then the Home Goods store. And all of this is after allegedly getting the chocolate milkshake for his son. And at Home Goods, 3 rugs were purchased at Home Goods. Next comes the way it's characterized to me, it could be the surveillance operation. Obviously, there had to be some checking around if the police and their evidence is true. And some of the surveillance video came from the pings of Bryan's phone on January 2nd in Abington and also Brockton, neighboring communities. What we've now discovered was that in those communities, Bryan was spotted on surveillance at 3 different apartment buildings where there were dumpsters. And on some of the video, he's heaving bags that are so heavy that he's buckling under their weight. And here's the quote: he had to heft them into the dumpster. So remember this, because our Evan Lambert in a moment is going to tell you why this is significant. Also, I can tell you that on January 4th, that's the day after the Home Depot trip and the Home Goods trip, he was also seen at Home Goods again and TJ Maxx, purchasing towels, bath mats, men's clothing, and then to a Lowe's store getting squeegees and a trash can. That is the same day that the well-being visit happened. So the police are at his door at 12:13 in the afternoon, and by 4:15, he's at a Lowe's store buying squeegees and trash cans. Here's a critical piece of evidence. Same day, January 4th, the well-being visit. The police spot a Volvo in his driveway. The seats are down and the liners are in the car. And the next day, January 5th, the seats are still down, but the liners are gone. And lo and behold, the carpets have fresh vacuum marks. And we're told by police as well that there was blood evidence in the car. To the Google searches now, which is going to help make this really make sense. According to the prosecutor today, on January 1st at 4:55 a.m., that would be a mere 3 hours after Anna Walshe was last seen alive by her dinner guest. But at 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, New Year's Day, how long before a body starts to smell? How to stop a body from decomposing? At 5:20 a.m., how to embalm a body? Then 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. 6:25 a.m., how long for someone to be missing for someone to be missing to inherit? Look at that again. How long for someone to be missing to inherit? So about 5 hours or so after this woman was last seen alive, Bryan Walshe is alleged to be thinking about how to get her money. Let's go on. 6:34, can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from a wooden floor. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw crime scene clothing away or wash them? January 2nd, is a hacksaw the best tool to dismember? Can you be charged with murder without a body? I'll just answer that and it's yes. This next one is very disturbing. Can you identify a body with broken teeth? January 3rd, what happens to hair on a dead body? And also, what is the rate of decomposition of a body found in plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? And at 1:20 p.m., here it is. Can baking soda mask or make a body smell good? Remember what I told you on January 2nd, the Home Depot stop? Baking soda was actually part of the purchase, as we learned in court today. All of these allegations, he remains innocent until proven guilty. Our Evan Lambert has been following this case as well. He was in court with me as well. Evan, there was so much information that came out today. And I haven't even gotten to your amazing information, which takes us up the coast to Peabody, Massachusetts, where Bryan Walshe's mother has a condo, and so much of the evidence that came from a dumpster there. So take me to your location and walk me through not only the story that takes us there, but what they actually said was in those dumpsters in court.
Yeah, so Ashley, we are outside of that Peabody transfer station right now. This, as you mentioned, is where they found key evidence last Monday night that supports, prosecutors say, that charge of murder and that second charge of mishandling a body. I want to show you what this place looks like. We were here when it was searched last Monday, and we could see investigators, really, if you push in, as we push in here, those bays where they're lit up in the background, you can still see some piles of debris. That was even higher last week. And that's what we saw investigators going through in their white suits so as not to compromise any of the evidence. But now we know, and we learned in court what they found here today. We're learning that they found that hacksaw that you mentioned from the Google searches, 10 trash bags with clothes, with blood, cleaning supplies, and some of Anna's personal effects as well, even her COVID-19 vaccination card. This all coming from prosecutors in court. Also, the clothes she was last seen wearing, a Prada purse, boots, slippers even. And it's important because those slippers, prosecutors say, have blood on them. They also matched Anna Walshe's DNA. Some of those items also had Bryan Walshe's DNA, according to those investigators. Also, the Tyvek suit, one of the Tyvek suits that investigators say he was seen on surveillance video purchasing at that Home Depot, that was found here as well with blood on it. All of this investigators were able to find before it was destroyed. But as you alluded to, there was also cell phone information, according to the court proceeding today, that placed Bryan Walshe in Brockton and Abington at those apartment complexes, several apartment complexes where he is seen on video dumping those large, heavy trash bags. We know from investigators when they went to the facilities that those dumpsters would end up at, they were facilities that had incinerators, so they were not able to recover any of that evidence. And that is painting the story of essentially prosecutors inferring here that he dismembered her body and that those remains were destroyed. They were not able to obtain the evidence there that they got here. Also, something to remember, this transfer station, as you mentioned, Ashley, is very close to Swampscott. That is where Bryan Walshe's mother has a condo. Prosecutors alleging that what was found here that gave them that DNA connection that they talked about in court today, that was thrown in a dumpster first at her condo. That dumpster ended up here, and that is the contents of which they were searching. Investigators were searching last week when they found that. So you can imagine with those Google searches that you detailed, this really paints a credible case for the charges, at least to arrest Bryan Walshe on the charges of murder and mishandling a body. Ashley?
It's just such an enormous amount of evidence. And in the business, we call that, Evan, bad facts, because they are bad facts for the defense. They're going to have to somehow climb that hill, and that is going to be very, very difficult. Excellent reporting. Thank you for that, Evan. I know it's been a really long day, so I appreciate you doing that. It's also quite cold up here in Massachusetts, so thank you for that, Evan. I want to add a couple of things to Evan's reporting and what we learned in court today. This is a tough one. I can't give you the full answer to this, but I am hoping to have this answer tomorrow. There was something that the prosecutor said in court today towards the end of all of the evidence, and she kind of ended it with this, and it seemed like it was powerful, but because of the syntax of what she said, I don't know what she meant. I'm going to read it to you verbatim, including the mistakes, so that you can be the judge of this. They just finished she just finished listing out all the evidence on the Tyvek suit, Anna Walsh's and Bryan Walsh's DNA on the Tyvek suit, and then she ended it with this. There was tissues which found that Anna Walsh contributed to the DNA. That's the quote, look at it. There was tissues which found that Anna Walsh contributed to the DNA. I cannot tell you if that is an accidental S, there was tissue, or if it actually means something like Kleenex. I tried to get clarity on it today and I could not, but I'm working on it for tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you right now, if she ended her presentation with that mic drop, that's massive. If there was tissue from Anna Walsh found on that Tyvek suit or in that dumpster, that's going to be pretty massive. One other thing, and this is also a bit of a mic drop. December 27th, there was another Google search. Why is that so important? Because it's well before the presumed death time of Anna Walsh. And here's what the Google search said. What is the best date to divorce for a man? What is the best date to divorce for a man? If a prosecutor looks at that, as they have in so many other cases of domestic violence that ended in death or murder, they usually say, well, if you're looking to divorce your wife and it's a real hassle and there's custody and money involved, then getting rid of her might be easier, which could take you to first-degree murder instead of second-degree heat of passion murder. So that's going to be very big as we go forward in this case. I want to bring in Bob Ward. He's an investigative reporter with Boston 25. And if you know anywhere in Massachusetts, you know who Bob Ward is. He's sort of the king of all investigative work. So I am sure that you read with a drop of jaw like I did, the material that came out today. I first want to get your read on it.
Well, I was just astounded by it. You know, I walked into court not expecting that we would get that level of detail that was released, because just the day before the judge impounded the arrest warrant. So I figured that we might get some information about that would tell us that Anna Walsh was no longer alive and why they believe that. But to get this level of detail, I was shocked, and you could hear a pin drop in that courtroom as that prosecutor was going through all of this evidence. It was absolutely amazing. It's
like 150 people in that courtroom today. Right. I was sort of looking around for you, but not trying to crane my neck too much. But I walked into Bryan Walsh in that dock. And gray sweatshirt, very unassuming, came out with his hands shackled. Could you see if the legs were shackled?
I could not see his legs from where I was sitting. I was only a few feet away from him, but there was a row right in front of me. But yeah, I'll tell you what, his demeanor was so different from a week before when he was first brought in and he was arraigned on that charge of misleading state police investigators. He was cocky. He was kind of looking around and looked at me, smirked on the way in. Exactly. Right? You know, he looked to me like he was thinking he could beat this. Yeah. But today, there was a completely different look on his face. Today, there were no smirks, and he was taking this very seriously.
Did you expect that we'd get something more from him, like a plea or of an official arraignment? Because all he said was, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I understand the charges, right. Yeah. No, I expected something more from his attorney, actually, trying to maybe the previous arraignment when he's first brought in there, his wife's missing, and now he's charged with misleading investigators. She never said anything like, Your Honor, he deserves to be a free man. His wife is missing, and he's the father of 3 children. She didn't say any of that. And today was even less of a defense today. So, yeah, I am surprised that there's almost nothing coming from the other side, other than the statement that she released today, where she kind of blamed the media for all this attention that's being shown this case.
You've been in this business as long as I have, and we get that all the time, right? A defense attorney in a high-profile case will often say, I won't try this in the media. I will try this in a court of law. But she did take a hit to the prosecutor. She did give a hit to the prosecutor, suggesting you're leaking information before I get discovery. That's not the way this is going to work.
Right, and trying to say that, if they had the information, if they had good evidence, I would have that already, but I don't have the evidence yet. I think you just have to take all that with a grain of salt at this stage of the game. As you've been saying, you've outlined, great job outlining where this was today and where it's headed, and it's not going to a good place for Bryan Walsh.
It is going to be the uphill battle.
It really is.
Really tough. It's great to meet you, by the way. I've been a fan for a long time, and I know that everyone else hangs on every word you say. So, Bob Ward, thank you for this.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I hope we get to talk again.
Absolutely.
Coming up after the break, speaking of talking, I did a lot of that with the lead detective on this case, because there's nobody who knows more about it. Yes, they're hampered in what they can say, but I did have a chance to ask a lot of questions about what it was like when the detectives first got there, and why the spidey senses were tingling, and how it's affecting their community because their entire department was dedicated to this case. That's coming up after the break.
Okay, I will mute the commercials if I can find where I did this. So I have something very exciting to share with y'all that I just can't wait to share with y'all. So while this has been going on, I received a text from somebody who I worked with. I'm sure they're gonna get to Idaho. They're just doing this first because this is brand new news. They're gonna get to Idaho, guys. I'm very confident on that. Anyways, so for those of y'all who were around during the Gabby Petito case, when we did the aerial banner and flew the plane around the laundries, I worked with JB Buno and WFLA, right? And JB just got a TikTok, even though I told him he should do it like literally a year ago. But that's beside the point. He is texting me right now, and he wants to do a joint live together. Justin is married. He wants to do a joint live together, and like y'all, JB Buno is like right up there with Bryan Kohberger. And he said that I am the only one he would do this with because we've worked together in the past. So we're trying to figure out a date, and I'm super duper excited about this because I mean he's again like Bryan Kohberger. So thank you for saying we both have great hair. It's such a compliment. So yeah, I'm very excited to share that with y'all. Obviously, I will set up a live event for when that happens. But JB is amazing. So yes, but I'm literally like texting with him right now. But I figured you guys would like that. So if we do that, then I would say to submit some questions and we can kind of go through those that evening. Yes, the WFLA JB, that JB, yes. So are they so forthcoming with this evidence that they're hush-hush about Idaho? Different states, different rules. This is also a very different case. With what I understand they found, this is going to be airtight with him, and they're still and with Idaho, they want to make sure that everything is as close to airtight as it can be. And there is a gag on the Idaho order as well because of that. Yeah, this guy is. I mean, you don't Google the things that he was Googling. I mean, some of those, Well, thank you for that's awesome. Thank you for the drum. And if he gets back to me, if he's typing right now, if he gets back to me on what dates works for him, I will let y'all know on this live. I don't know why they muted you. They shouldn't have muted you, right? We can shoot for Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday of next week is what we're looking at for JB. I'm trying to push him for 8 p.m. Central Time. Yes, Alyssa, I know I'll be out of town, but yeah, I'll do it for this, I will do it from the cabin. I told him we couldn't do Monday or Tuesday because of your birthday. By the way, Alyssa's birthday is on Tuesday, everybody. Yes, I know, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's what I said. Yes, y'all. Once I get everything confirmed with him, I will create an event to register for y'all. But y'all will get to know it here first. And I think Banfield's back on. So yeah.
Department partnered with the state police to investigate the case against Bryan Walshe. And man, did they do it quickly. All 4 detectives and all 12 other officers were assigned to this case. And they don't get to talk a lot, especially once it's turned over to the prosecutors, right? But today, they were talking to me. I had the exclusive opportunity to speak with Detective Lieutenant Mike Lopes, who was heading this whole investigation. He's the commander of the Cohasset Detective Division and the lead detective on the Walshe case. And here's my conversation with him. What have the last 2 weeks been like for the Cohasset Police Department with this massive case?
Well, we've all been, really dedicated to, the investigation at hand and, doing what we can to get to the truth.
What are the numbers like? I mean, it seems like a pretty small detachment, maybe 4 or 5 detectives, maybe 12 officers. Like, how many people were dedicated to the case?
Well, I mean, we had multiple law enforcement agencies assisting us. We have the Cohasset Police in conjunction with detectives from the Mass State Police assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office. But we also had other entities assisting us in different ways, in different locations. So, I mean, it's been a large contingent of law enforcement officials on this case.
And almost all of yours, right? Pretty much the bulk of the manpower here.
No, absolutely. The Cohasset Police Department as a whole has been engaged in this case, and everybody's been working long hours.
It's also a small community, so this is one of your own.
No, absolutely. I mean, it is a small community. Everybody has kind of a sense of ownership, regarding anything and everything. And, but it doesn't matter whether a small community or a big community. Everybody wants to kind of get to the truth and do the right thing.
To that, I understand there's certain things you can and can't say, and I'll do my best to go where I can with you on this. But in terms of investigating this crime, this started out as a missing persons case, but not because the defendant called it in.
No, I mean, it got called in as a well-being check. We were notified by the employer of the victim, the victim in this case, and we followed up on that, and it very quickly turned into a larger scale inquiry and investigation.
And from what we gather, January 4th is when this really sort of came to your attention with the well-being check. So the officers dispatched for well-being check. Sometimes in this business we have spidey senses. You and I have them both for what we do. How did things feel right from the get-go?
Well, I mean, as time went on, certain things didn't add up, and that happens in investigations and in police work, and we have to vet the information that we receive and dive deeper into it, and that's what we did with this investigation. But definitely this investigation is still ongoing, and we're still collecting information and doing our job, but this definitely has challenges.
Is there anything you need from the public? Sometimes you need tips from the public to really push things over the line or beyond the line. Are you looking for that now, or do you feel like the investigation is really just your gumshoe work?
We're always looking for information. There's always a large thirst for information when we're involved in things like this. Sometimes you think you have enough information, and then something else comes to light, and you look into it. But this community is great. We look for the public's help in the beginning, and they answer the call, and we assume that they're going to keep doing that whenever we ask for help.
Let's go back to January 4th. The well-being check is dispatched. The officer arrives at the Walshe home, and Bryan Walshe actually has to have some kind of conversation as to why officers have arrived at his home for a well-being check. What does he offer up?
Well, I believe he was looking to make contact, or did make contact with his wife's employer, looking for her.
And not with you guys.
He stated that he was going to reach out to us to file a missing persons, and on that day, on January 4th, officially a missing persons report was filed. She was put into NCIC, the missing persons database, and we move forward with the investigation from there.
So this goes up the chain pretty quickly, just in terms of the strange circumstances. 3 little children. She hasn't been seen for 4 days. Dad is not saying she's missing right away, but employer is. So in that regard, you go back probably pretty quickly to start asking more questions.
Yeah, I mean, any investigation is important, but this came in as a missing persons investigation, and we take that very seriously, and time is of great concern in missing person cases. So we dove right into it.
Did he ever put up any roadblocks to say search the house?
He was fairly cooperative. I'm not going to get into any particulars, but he was fairly cooperative in the beginning.
And when did the DA get involved in this case? Because there's so many things that would kind of trigger, that could trigger a DA. When did the DA get involved?
I believe the district attorney's office and his investigators, which are detectives with the Mass State Police, joined the investigation on the 5th. Basically in the beginning, the beginning stages of the investigation, and we work collaboratively with them and other agencies.
It's significant. The 5th is significant. It's only 24 hours after the 4th, which is when this comes to your attention at all. And in Massachusetts, the DA wouldn't get involved right away just for missing person. There must have been something that just didn't seem right.
Well, you know what? We want to put 100% of our efforts into doing whatever we do. And like I said, this is a missing persons case, and the district attorney's office and the Mass State Police have the ability and the resources to assist us. And we would be remiss if we didn't call them as soon as necessary to have them join and help us out.
In terms of the detective work inside the house, I know that you had the assistance as well from state. There's luminol that's visible like on the banister on the second floor. There must have been like a massive scene to process. How long did it take?
Officers assigned to the crime scene unit processed a lot of area, a lot of evidence was processed. This is a large scale case.
Was the bulk of the evidence in the basement?
I'm not going to comment on any particulars with the investigation right now, but there was a lot of hard work put in by everybody, and we couldn't have done it without that collaborative effort.
Is there anything you can say about how the arrest happened and how the children were handled in that process? Because he's confined to home unless he's taking them to school. What would have happened on the day that he was actually taken into custody?
Well, the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families would be involved in that, and they do a very good job in making sure the children's well-being is of main concern. It's law enforcement's main concern that these children are taken care of and taken care of properly. So the children are on everybody's minds. They're on our mind too. We might investigate a case, but the people that are involved are people, and we really are concerned for them and their well-being, especially when it's children.
Is there anything that you could add in terms of arrest day? Because this is a very unusual case. It's not like any other arrest.
Yeah, I mean, every case has its nuances and obstacles, and this case was the same. All I can say is that I couldn't be more proud of all the investigators involved and all the agencies involved and the effort they put in.
Are you able, as a detective, as the head of the detective unit here, are you able to follow up and find out how the kids are doing?
Yeah, I mean, we'll inquire. I mean, it's part of the whole issue here, and we're concerned about it, and we'll ask questions and check on them and make sure they're doing okay.
What was Bryan Walshe's demeanor when the detectives arrived and said you're under arrest?
I wasn't there when he was placed under arrest, so I can't speak to that. All I can say is that we're moving forward now in a positive direction, and like I said, I couldn't be happier with the effort that was put in.
Detective Lieutenant Mike Lopes talking to me today from the Cohasset Police. That's a guy who keeps things close to the vest, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more that we learn in the coming days, weeks, and months about what happened in that house. So coming up after the break, there is this question that so many of us have about how this happened, because she was so successful and he was not. So why were they together? What brought these two together? What was their life like in that house before she became lifeless? One of her friends joins me live on this program to explain a little bit about that dynamic. That's next.
All right, everybody. So muting during the commercials, and for JB, we will be doing it Wednesday, so a week from today, at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I will create an event tonight. I've got a couple events coming up, but I'll create an event tonight, and we will be doing it Wednesday for those of y'all who want to register. And for I don't know if I just mentioned who it was. For those who weren't in here earlier, this is for JB Buno, or Hey JB from WFLA. WFLA JB. And what's that in Central Time? It's 8 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, I'm actually going to be in, yes, exactly. Next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, WFLA. I will actually be in Eastern Time for that event. So yes, I'm very excited about this. He is awesome. Like I said, we worked really well together during Gabby. He gave me a solid. He streamed the banner that we did for both of them, for like the entire time they were up. And it's going to be on TikTok exclusively because he's trying to grow his TikTok, which is part of the reason. So I don't know what we're talking about yet. When I create the videos to kind of promote the live, I would encourage people, if they have questions for JB, I mean, for me, you guys, I'm easy to ask. But while we have JB, if anybody's got questions, we can, about anything. It can be about these cases. It could be, about any case he's done, which includes Gabby. It can be about, what it's like being in the news, whatever y'all want. His TikTok, for those of y'all who want to follow him now, which I would encourage. Honestly, here's the thing. If y'all like Brian Enton, y'all will like him as well. For those of y'all who don't know him, I'm going to comment and pin his name. All right. Give me a second. So I'm going to go ahead. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to pin my own comment here. Well, if it'll let me pin my own comment. Not one of my mods can pin my comment. If it'll let you. There it goes. Sorry, my dog's being annoying. So that's, if you want to follow him, you can. He's at 6106 right now. I'd love to see him more for somebody of his caliber. He definitely should be higher than that. But he's good. He's good information. He's legit news. Sorry about Baxter's a problem. Well, I'm plugging JB because he and I are going to be doing a live together next Wednesday. I'm very excited about that. I'm sorry about my dog being there. He's upset that he's downstairs and we're not downstairs with him. Awesome. Thank you guys for asking. Baxter is a King Charles Cavalier. Can you go live? Yeah, you can go live after you hit 1,000. You just need 1,000 to go live. No, Alyssa's working on stuff right now. I don't know where Idaho is. I don't have the programming for News Nation. I would hopefully think soon if they're going to do it. If not, then yeah. His numbers are jumping. Good. I'm glad. He's definitely worth a follow, y'all. He really is great. Oh, I'm glad. I haven't talked about the toxic mother stuff in a while. I'm glad that you that helped you. I haven't really done any of that while we were covering news, but
At a courtroom in Quincy, Massachusetts this morning, some of the most sinister details played out by a prosecutor accusing Bryan Walshe of doing the most vile things to the corpse of his wife. It was hard for seasoned reporters like me to listen through that and actually process that it could be real. I can't imagine what it would be like for friends and loved ones of Anna Walshe. And speaking of friends of Anna Walshe, I'm now joined live by Olga Laskova. She's a friend of Anna's and obviously has been trying to process a lot more than the rest of us. Olga, I'm so sorry that we're speaking under these circumstances. I just wanted to get your reaction to some of the news that you heard revealed in that courtroom today.
It is so unreal. It's as if I'm living in an alternate reality, because one day you're speaking with a beautiful and amazing woman, brilliant friend and brilliant businesswoman, and then another day you wake up to such news of a mother of 3 young children, 2, 4, and 5 or 6 beautiful children, and she seemed to have it all together. It's really as if there is a terrible movie going on.
I want to ask you about something that was photographed inside their home just in the last few days. It looked to be a New Year's Eve present Anna might have bought for Bryan. It's maybe a bottle of champagne in a wine bag. But there's a message that she wrote to him, and it reads, "Wow, 2022, what a year! And yet we're still here and together. Let's make 2023 the best one yet. We are the authors of our lives: courage, love, perseverance, compassion, and joy. Love, Anna." Olga, I don't get it. I mean, she was so successful and wonderful and loving from everything people have said about her. And he was absolutely not, from actual court records of prior crimes and family members who said he was a sociopath. What do you think drew them to each other? And why would Anna be with someone like that?
It's very hard to say. The thing is, I actually never met Bryan, and I saw Anna on several occasions, and she was always without him. And whenever we wanted to speak about the family, the only thing she would speak about would be her children. My friends, they would ask me, "How's your husband?" She says, "Well, let's talk about the children." So it's very hard to say. Maybe she was private. There was definitely love there, because 3 children and all of my friends that knew both of them, they said that this is still a huge surprise to them and very unexpected, because they never heard Anna say anything bad about Bryan or complain. So it is very hard to say what drew them together. You know, they say opposites attract. She was very outgoing, and it sounds like Bryan was probably more private. And it seems like, from everything I heard and from everything I've seen, that she was like a light of his life, and maybe he made her feel that way.
Maybe. I mean, that sounds like it's a good description. It's mystifying to many, but he could have been very loving at times to her and made her very happy at times. I think we're going to learn more. Olga Lisowska, thank you so much. And again, I'm so sorry that we're speaking under these sort of awful circumstances, but I do appreciate you helping to bring her to life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, everybody says it. You can't convict without a body, unless you actually work in the legal profession, and then you know you can. But how? How much trickier is it? Is it that difficult, or is it becoming much, much easier because forensics are getting
She
so
was from,
good?
I believe,
You're gonna
Serbia,
learn
somewhere.
all about
It
that
was
in a
Eastern
moment.
European for sure. Okay, I'll mute it. I don't know if they're going to end up getting to the warrant tonight. If not, I will be getting to it on YouTube after this. So, again, with Serbia. Okay, I was right. So a couple things for those of y'all here, I'll just kind of share with y'all before I, obviously I'm not going to YouTube right this second. Before I do, in about 15 minutes, I do have a couple more live scheduled that some of y'all might be interested in. So tomorrow night, for those of y'all who, so I was on a YouTube show, the Pascal show, a couple times, and so he is actually going to return the favor and be doing a live with me tomorrow. So if you want to register for that, you can go hit the live event. It'll say live event today at 9 p.m., but you can click on that and it'll show you the other 2 events. And then that's going to be tomorrow. And then on Friday, I had a lot of people ask me if I would be willing to restream the 2020 episode or coverage that they did on Moscow for people who haven't had a chance to see it. When I streamed it last time, it was on Hulu and it was no commercials at all. So I'm doing that starting at 9 p.m. Central Time as well. And then, yes, and thank you, Abby. And I'm going to pin Abby's comment here. And then, as I said, I haven't had a chance to create it because I'm on the live, but when I get off the live, I will also schedule a time for JB as well, which I'm super duper excited about. And every one of y'all should come to do that. And y'all should also go follow him if you haven't, because again, if you like Bryan Inton and you like my coverage of this kind of stuff, then you will love JB, being a WFLA JB. JB and I will be going live at at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 Central. My YouTube is the same name as here. It's Justin on TikTok, all one word, but you can also get to it by going to the link tree in my profile and clicking the top link from that. I have texted with Bryan Inton, not texted, but Instagram Messenger with Bryan Inton once during the Gabby Petito case. And yes, we did watch it. We streamed the Dateline live here. No, Doug, because I forgot, but I will look. The issue was trying to find you on there. I'm going to be going live with JB next Wednesday. The 2020 stream will be on Friday, so 2 days. Yeah, I would love to get on with Bryan and thank you guys for the follows for that too. But that's how you found me through drive. That's awesome. What time next Wednesday? It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 Central. I will do a live event that y'all can register for. Yeah, I probably need to make a list, but I think the list will just confuse people. But yes, I can do that. But Pascal from the Pascal Show tomorrow, 2020 Friday, JB on Wednesday, and I will not be live streaming anything Monday and Tuesday because of Alyssa's birthday. We will be out of town. So yeah, my background, I just kind of fell into this, to be honest with you. I don't have any type of journalism background. My degree is in marketing. It's in business. I work in pharmaceuticals. I am going to YouTube tonight. After Banfield, I'm going to YouTube. What does register for mean? Register for means that if you go into you go to my profile, you can hit the live button and you can put register.
Asking you shall receive. Our Evan Lambert, crack reporter, got word from the district attorney's office just a few minutes ago, and I want to read this for you. Remember that issue about the comment of tissue, or was it tissues, or was it a Kleenex, or was it actual body tissue? Here's the answer from the DA, right from Evan Lambert. Tissue was the word used by the crime lab to describe what may eventually prove to be blood evidence. The prosecutor, Lynn Beeland, actually said that the word was not hers, it came from the crime lab. I don't know that I have that much more clarity, but I think it's less than I thought it was. It doesn't really feel as though it's actually body tissue the way I thought it might be, but that's very helpful. Thank you to the DA. I heard you're watching. We'd love to have that interview with you as soon as possible as well. But this is a perfect opportunity to bring in Steve Faris. He is a defense attorney who's worked on 50 murder cases. He's also been trying cases for 45 years. You don't look a day over 40. And also, I remember your work in the Mary Winkler case. She was convicted of killing her future husband after she said he was very abusive to her. I can't wait to get your reaction to some of the things that you heard, some of that evidence that you heard, and the DA's response as well about tissue. Really looks like it might turn out to be blood evidence, but all of the above. You've heard all of it. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is, first, in this country, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I'm looking at this case through a telescope. One of the answers that I do want to give you is your detective, your knowledgeable detective that you had on previously, wondered why the defense attorney did not say more during the bond hearing. Well, he should know that the defendant is already convicted of a federal crime. If he made bond in the state court, he would be immediately revoked and picked up by the feds. As far as the evidence goes, we are hearing what the DA says they had. And I've got to say, my saying is saying it doesn't make it so. We want to, as defense attorneys, we want to see it, feel it, smell it, see if it's evidence, see if it's admissible evidence. It certainly does sound like that the defense attorney, who from my research is very experienced, Ms. Miner, will do all the things that a good attorney should do. Number one, speak to their client, find out what's going on, try to answer through him these allegations of this seemingly damning evidence at this point.
I have one quick question for you, and I only have about 30 seconds, and I need you to answer this. We're all wondering if it's going to be murder 1 or murder 2, because right now it's just murder. But with that, Google search on the 27th of December, best date for a man to get a divorce. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, I can't put too much on the wording. This is going to be an accumulation of evidence rather than one key point, with the most of it being dependent upon the forensics, the blood, cell phones, computer evidence, possible murder weapons. That's where this case is going to turn.
Yeah, I'll bet. And I can't wait to have you back to talk about this more. You certainly got the years under your belt, so you know a thing or two about the business of trying to defend in a really tough case. Steve Faris, thank you. So appreciate it, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you, ma'am.
When we come back, I have some really interesting news on the case that we've been covering for several months now. Bryan Kohberger's apartment search warrant has been unsealed, and there is some curious stuff indeed. We're going to tell you what was found in this apartment.
Oh, this rental car is so boring to drive.
Let's be honest. The rent-a-car industry is the definition of boring, and the reason can be found in the name itself. Rent a car? You don't want a friend. You want the friend. You don't want a job. You want the job. The is always over.
All right, I stepped out for a second. Let me mute.
A car. We offer the car.
There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to read y'all's comments real quick. Okay. No, I ran out to talk to Alyssa for a second and do a bathroom break because I'm going to YouTube next. So since we're on commercial and they're probably going to come back from commercial to talk for like 3 seconds and then go again. Just for those of y'all who weren't here earlier or want to know, basically I'm going to be jumping onto YouTube after this because I can be unfiltered there and not here because TikTok is hateful to creators. So that's just on TikTok on YouTube. You can also get to it by going to the link tree in my profile and very top link in the link tree. So that's that one. Hopefully they'll give us an Idaho update. Okay, good. I'm glad that she's doing that for like 3 seconds. Then we'll jump over there. And then for those of y'all who want to register for live, I have Pascal from the Pascal Show on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Time. Then Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time, I will be restreaming 2020 for those who want to register for that. And then I also need to set up a live for a WFLA's JB Buno. Hey, JB, that we're going to be doing a joint live next Wednesday. So lots going on. Lots going on, guys. Yes, I'm going to talk about Idaho on YouTube. Yes, at WFLA JV. And I'll stay on for just a minute afterwards. Oh, thank you for that, Willow. I would love to have a live with Carrie. I don't know what happened with that. I need to reach back out to her. For those of y'all who don't know who we're talking about there, that's lawyer Carrie Jernigan. It's not an against Idaho wishes thing. They're two separate states. And my guess would be, well, I was just live with Olivia for like a second ago. Haley's busy with pregnancy and her Haley's, I don't think really up for it right now. I don't know the Sojo files. I've been into the creator. I even followed the creator who's covering that. I tried to get her attention when I was in her live saying like, hey, reach out to me because I would like to understand more about this case. I'd be happy to help you. And she has never gotten back to me. So if somebody wanted to get her in touch with me or tag her to reach out to me, I'd be happy to do that. The YouTube channel is Justin on TikTok. All one word. And you can also get to it through the link tree in my bio. I'm sure one of my mods will throw it up there real quick. Oh, Sojo Files is an account. Okay, I thought you were talking about, I'm thinking of Soto, sorry. I'm thinking of Olivia Soto. Sorry, that's what you, sorry. My bad. Yes, what Emily said. That's where we're going next, because I can be unfiltered there, and I love that. Apparently, I have surprised some of my followers by being there. All right, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking the wrong thing. I told Alyssa that I should call it Justin After Dark, but then she said that she looked at me like it was like the most cringe thing I could have said. I would, yeah. I can reach out to Carrie. Carrie and I are mutuals. Okay.
I am coming to you live from the police department in Cohasset, Massachusetts. But if you watch our show pretty regularly, you know that we were doing hour-long specials on the Idaho murder case for 2 months. And I want to give you an update, something we have been waiting for quite some time. It's the unsealing of the search warrant. The reason that the police were able to get into Bryan Kohberger's apartment in Pullman, Washington. Okay, here are some of the things that came out of that search warrant, what they actually found when they unsealed this. One disposable black glove, receipts from Walmart and Marshalls. That's going to be important at some point. I can't tell you why now. Dust container from the vacuum cleaner. That I want to know about, because there's allegations that he cleaned his car, he may have cleaned his rug, but if the dust container is still full, everything you pick up from the rug or the car is still in that container. Fascinating. 12 possible hairs. 1 Fire TV stick. And I know for a fact you can do internet searches and social media search with a Fire TV stick. Also, a possible animal hair strand. It will be fascinating to know if that is potentially Murphy the dog. 1 computer tower. 1 item with a dark red spot. That's all they'll say about that. 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow with reddish brownish stain, and then mattress covers. And they listed as the reason for the search, King Road residents had significant amount of blood from victims, including spatter, cast off. Believed it was transferred to Kohberger, who they believe returned to his apartment after the killings on November 13th. They also searched his office because he was a TA, right? But they didn't seize anything there, which is pretty fascinating. There is this also from People magazine that Bryan Kohberger sent a series of messages, DMs, to one of the victims on Instagram before the murders, but we don't know which. We just know it was one of the females. That is it for tonight, live from Cohasset, Massachusetts. Thanks for being with me. I'm Ashley Banfield. See you tomorrow.
All right. So Alexa, turn on theater. Let me turn this around. Let me turn the YouTube folks around. There we go. Hey, guys. Alexa, turn on theater. There we go. Let me do something real quick before I let y'all go for the evening. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to first say, I'm going to throw this up on the background for y'all. That's not it. Oh, never mind. I can't find it. Okay, never mind. I don't want that on the background. I can't figure that out. Damn it. You can't take me anywhere, guys. All right, forget it. Let me turn this around. I'll talk to y'all for like a second here. Okay, so I'm getting ready to move over to YouTube here in a second. Before I do, though, just a couple more housekeeping items. Go follow WFLA-JB if you don't already. If you like my content and you like Brian Enton's content and Ashley Banfield, which we just watched, you will like JB, I promise you. He's great. He is him and Bryan Enton are the people who I check the most for reliable updates before I come on and sum things up. So the next thing I'll say is here on TikTok tomorrow night. I will. So on YouTube, I did the Pascal show twice. And so I'm returning the favor for him having me on. He's going to come on to my live because his following is more on YouTube, not on TikTok, and vice versa. My YouTube is Justin on TikTok, all one word. It's a little yellow like emblem or logo thing. And then so that's Pascal. That's gonna be tomorrow. You can register for that on Friday. If you missed the 2020 live, I will be streaming it. When I did it on Hulu the other day, it was completely uninterrupted, no commercials, etc. JB's TikTok is WFLAJB. I don't know what Pascal's is. I think it's the Pascal show, but I'll double check. We don't know what victim he DM'd yet. They haven't told us. And then I will be doing the live with JB a week from today, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 Central. All right. No worries, Erica. If you can't sleep, you know where we're at. But all right, so I'm going to sign off on here and move over to YouTube. Hopefully we will see you there, and we will talk about the warrant and even Brian Walshe if people want to. And there's actually some other story I haven't had a chance to cover yet. For Olivia Soto, get that creator in touch with me. I tried to get in touch with him because I do not understand that case at all. Please do. My shirt says everything is terrible, and I'm going to talk about this too on YouTube because this is my affiliate right here. This shirt is part of my affiliate. So I'll show you all that on the next one. I'm going to YouTube right now. So you guys have a great night. I will see y'all over there. Justin on TikTok, on YouTube, and we will see you guys over there. Here, guys. All right. So now YouTube has my undivided attention. And since you do get the unfiltered version. Give me 1 second to go grab an adult beverage. We'll get a tall one tonight. I feel like this refrigerator needs to be colder. Turn up the cold in this. All right, anyway. So we got a drink. We are good. Now we know. It's just going to get real. So, where do y'all want to start? Oh, I can turn off this banner because that's done. Where would you guys like to start? I think y'all should. I think if we need to take a moment for everybody to go grab their adult beverage, we can do that. So I'm very excited about this JB thing. I know y'all want to talk about Idaho. I knew that. You're talking about the shirt. Okay, we got the shirts. We got Idaho. That sounds delicious, Melanie. Cotton candy wine sounds like it would make me vomit. But maybe it wouldn't. Well, if you're at work, Anita, that is what Bailey's is for. How many hours am I at? I'm at like 36:27 or something like that. I'm very close. I don't know when Ryan Inton's getting a TikTok. Okay, you're pregnant. Kaylee, you can snack or have a mocktail. And by the way, congratulations. If you don't mind me asking, how far along are you? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Heather. Okay, so let me get some stuff pulled up here while we're waiting on this. So we have stuff that we can chat about. Get my thing. There we go. "39 weeks and 3 days. Wow, you're like you're right there, Sarah. And you're 13 weeks. Yep. I'm believe it or not, guys, you can ask my wife. I don't know if she's in here. I am actually very good with this kind of stuff, with the pregnancy stuff. I understand more than most men. And that's not me trying to like toot my own horn here. It's just how it is. I'm trying to find. No, I don't want that. I'm charging Idaho Statesman. I'm looking for the full warrant so I can show you all that. Yay, I found it. We can get this pulled up. I don't think I'm blurry. I don't know. Maybe you need to clean. I don't know. Yes, congratulations to everybody who's pregnant. Although, who is it? Is it Sarah? Is that what her name? Yeah, Sarah, who's at 39 weeks and 3 days. That she's got to be incredibly uncomfortable about now. Yeah, if you found it, Judy, I guess I can send it to you if you need me to. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and throw it on up here, right? Oh God, I don't think I've ever had this many people in my YouTube live. So thank y'all. And if you don't follow me already, please do on here because I'm definitely trying to grow this. Yes, all the soon-to-be mamas and everybody in here bonding through murder. I'm going to throw this up, and I'm going to tell you the things that I want to talk about tonight and see if y'all have interest in it. Let me get this up here first, though. Because you know me, ADD squirrel. All right. Bam. There we go. We have a warrant. It is 49 pages. I posted every page of this through screenshots on my Instagram because I was too stupid to realize that I could have taken this link and put it in the link tree in my profile in my bio on TikTok. So I realized that afterwards, and I was like, well, the hard work is already done, so here we are. Let me do this. I want my phone as well so I can do stuff with that. What did Judy do? Everybody's saying, I would like to be congratulated for not being pregnant. Well, congratulations, Judy. You know what? All pregnancies count, guys. They're all, you know what? All pregnancies count. All of them. No matter how many years ago, no matter how many pregnancies, didn't make it past a certain period. For all of that, they all count. So, the things that I want to chat with y'all about tonight. We'll start with this because I know y'all are just, no, Alyssa's not. Katie, that's how rumors start. Or Kate. I saw Kate and then T and put Katie. Kate, no, don't start rumors. No. So I know y'all want to talk about this. So we're going to start with this. Okay, we're going to start with the warrant. It has been such a crazy day. I've skimmed it. I've not even had a chance to read it. So we will go through it together. No, Alyssa's not pregnant as she put here. Kinsey, I want to chat with you. So I'm going to put you up here so I don't forget to come back to you. I'm not calling you out because I think I saw you in my comments yesterday. And I think I said, I appreciate you saying something. If they are. So anyways, I'm going to come back and chat with you specifically in a second. So we'll do this. The next thing I want to talk about is I do want to talk about Anna Walshe because that is a big case and it does deserve attention. The other thing I want to talk about, there might 1.5 things I want to talk about because I just want to talk about them. And they are crime related. Okay, one, have y'all heard about the cartel hit that happened, I guess, yesterday in California? They believe it's a cartel or gang. I think they're zoned in on cartel. That I want to talk about that, where 6 people ended up being killed, including a baby. The other thing I want to talk about is the Sicilian mob boss, the Sicilian mob boss who was arrested after being on the run forever, and that he's made claims such as, the amount of people he's killed can fill its own cemetery. So I'd like to chat about all of that if y'all are okay with that while we're here tonight. But I know we're all pressed on Idaho. So after I talk to Kinsey here, I'm going to come back to Idaho. Okay. So Kinsey, if you are the person who I said that to yesterday, first, I thank you for making that comment. So if she is, which I believe that you are, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, please do, in fact. If y'all saw the video on TikTok, and I actually posted it here as well, that has this one person who's clearly a troll. I don't think that they're a bot. I think that they are somebody who lifted a fake profile picture, fake profile page, and is spamming a lot of creators who are talking about this case, the Idaho case, and being very pro Bryan Kohberger. Okay. Okay, cool. It is you. I thought it was because I thought your picture looked familiar. And Kinsey came in here because I take real issue with people making unfounded accusation and insults against people who can no longer defend themselves because they are dead. And so somebody has to be a voice. We could probably stream that documentary at some point, Amber. So I get off tonight, come back to me because squirrel. I I have a problem. I take real issue with people doing things like that, whether it's for clout or likes or attention or because they actually believe it. But coming in there and what this person was saying is that Maddie, they were spoiled, bratty college kids, and that they were racist towards Black people and towards Asian people, apparently, both of those. And maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But, I don't know them to say. But there has not been a single shred of evidence or information that has come out that would lead anybody to believe that those accusations are true. And for those reasons, I made that video, and Kinsey said, that she commented on. She said that she went to school with them, and if you wanted to talk about more, I'll put those up there if you're up for typing it out. But or if you wanted to come on, I could probably figure out a way to have you as a guest, if that's something you're interested in. Is this live, Jill? If me addressing you right now tells you that it's live, it is. But anyway, she said that she basically said that Maddie, she went to school with them, that they didn't exhibit any of those, that they were actually very nice. So again, I don't know them. I've never met Maddie, Kaylee, Xander, Ethan. I've never met any of them in person. I only know about them what you all know. But somebody like Kinsey knows a different level than we know because she went to school with them. So my point is that we're going to stand up for people, and I appreciate her bringing some first world experience into this and talking about them. And again, if you want to come on, we will figure out how to do that, but that is completely up to you and no pressure. In the meantime, it's being recorded. This is all being recorded and you can watch later. When I get off, it saves it, which is one thing I love about YouTube as well. So I'm going to take this comment down. I'm going to monitor y'all's comments, and we're going to go through this. Okay. So as somebody said earlier, I forget who, I apologize. A lot of this is redundant. It is 49 pages. I have not personally had a chance to fully read it because I have been busy. But I've read some highlights of it. And so I'm trying to look at this here. All right, so I'm trying to look at the comments here. So Penny, I'm not sure which way I don't know. I'm not really coming after you. I just don't really understand which way you're trying to take that. Is it because it's 1% Black? That means Idaho is inherently racist because there aren't that many Black people? Because I take it as the opposite. Idaho is, I think, hold on. Let me check something out real quick. The entire population of Idaho is a lot more than I thought it was, and it has 1.9 million people. That's not that many given the size of the state. I'm just saying. It's not a very big state. It's not very populous. So I think that it's just, whatever. Judy said the one thing that I noticed was that Kaylee's dad kept saying that Kohberger was Jewish and kosher based on his last name and a vegan diet. Vegan is not kosher and Kohberger is not Jewish. Yes, Kohberger is not Jewish and vegan is not the same as kosher. That is 100% correct. I'm telling you that as somebody who is half Jewish themselves. Okay. We'll have some questions coming up before we get into it, so let's just chat with it. Why did this information come out today, gag order? Do you think it contained a jury case mistrial? I don't think any of this information that came out in this form here that we're talking about is going to taint. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I figured you were doing. That was kind of my thought too, Penny. I'm going to come back to you in a second on that. So there's not in this document, there's nothing in it that I see based on my skimming through it that would be anything that would jeopardize the case. Second of all, a gag order only applies to law enforcement or police speaking to media. I need to do a video on gag orders, and I will. Thank you to Judy, who sent me some information so I could do it quickly. I just haven't done it yet, so maybe I will make that a priority for tomorrow to do the gag order video to explain it. But if the courts or the police or whatever authority, in this case the state of Washington, which by the way, the state of Washington is not bound to the gag order because that gag order applies to Idaho. So this warrant comes out of the state of Washington. They can do whatever they want. But my guess, they can do whatever they want. And my guess, though, is that they spoke with Idaho first, and everything felt it was okay to proceed. So the gag order only accounts for people who are, litigators. There we go. That's what happened when I start drinking. Litigators and law enforcement and court personnel or whoever else to begin speaking with the media. That's who it applies to. So if they choose to release something, it has nothing to do with the gag order at all. I'm trying to read what else. This is a very good question. Yeah, let's try not to go down the political rabbit hole. Nothing good comes from that. First of all, Melanie, not a dumb question. He does not have two separate cases per se. I'm sure it's two separate case numbers. The murders happened in Idaho, but his apartment was in Washington. So they worked with Washington to execute this search warrant, just like they worked with Pennsylvania to pick him up. How did they find a few loose strands of hair? In an entire apartment, because that is what forensics jobs is. They are good at that kind of stuff. That's why they were in this small apartment for hours. I think over 12, 13 hours they were in it. Okay, so we're going to go through this. This is just basically comes now, the state of Washington, basically an order, the prosecuting attorney moves for the court for an order to unseal the return of service search warrant, and they gave the number. So this is basically a petition motion, if you look up here, in order to unseal the warrant. Okay? And here's just where it's signed. And this is basically the motion and the basis as to why it's not really, again, if you want to read any of this stuff is all on I'm going to get rid of this comment real quick so I can see all of this. This is also on my Instagram. So, somebody else's comment I wanted to come back to. I totally just remember that. I can't find it. Oh, well. So the haircut comment, my guess is they know what color hair and the style and how short it was. My guess is that they pulled hair. It was probably longer hair and maybe blonde hair. Stuff that was probably very obviously not Bryan's. It's my guess. This just talks about how they're going to go through this. They're talking about probable cause, the probable cause affidavit, talking about the murder burglary, which is notorious. It's basically just going through all that. Nothing really. This is redacted. So this right here, again, you and I, we're all learning this together, guys. So I'm trying to read y'all's comments at the same time, make sure I don't miss anything. So this was I guess this is the initial search warrant. Okay, this is the initial search warrant from 12/29. Okay, so this is like this. It's interesting because they arrested him on 12/30, so they had all of their ducks in a row for the minute they picked him up that they could do everything. So search within 10 days of the premises. Yeah, I don't know, Jill. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I think. And apparently cholera is back because it's the Oregon Trail around here. So they're talking about the description of the building here. Okay, so this is what they were looking for. Okay, this is kind of interesting, I think. So this is what they had permission to look for. Seize if located evidence of the above listed crimes, including blood or other bodily fluid or human tissue or skin cells or items with blood or other bodily fluid or human tissue or skin cells on the items. Knives, sheaths, other sharp tools, including daggers, dirks, or sword, and any written indication of ownership of the same, including any sales receipts. Any images, whether digital or on paper or any other format, which show Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, Madison, or the other two, BF or DM. And I guess there's another person here that's redacted, which is interesting. And or the house at 1122 King Road, Moscow, in the surrounding neighborhood. Any clothing, but not limited to dark shirts, dark pants, masks, shoes with diamond pattern sole, i.e. Vans. Trace evidence, including DNA from blood or skin cells or other source, footprints, fingerprints, hair, whether human, animal, or dog. So they already knew they wanted to look for, animal. Then data compilations, whether digital electronic, for showing interest in planning of murder, violent assault, stabbing, and or cutting of people, and data compilations showing details of the house, its location, or any information about Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, or Madison, or any of the other roommates. Showing any data with his phone number, any data on November 13th, including Wi-Fi logs, data or metadata associated with photos, social media posts, or applications on cell phones, computer towers, laptops, tablets, as example, but not intended to be exclusive list. Ledgers, pens, paper, lists, books, all this stuff here. Social media, text messages, calendars. I mean, they really get a lot of it here. Tori, were you the one that asked that in one of my comments? Because if so, that was a great question when you asked it then. If not, then it's still a great question as you ask it now. I was going to talk about that. But we're not there yet. We are not there yet. Any digital storage devices, any accounts associated with the device, email addresses, social media, messaging apps, etc. Stuff along those lines. Photographs, images, videos, documents, and related data between the dates that they're looking for. Evidence of use of the device to conduct internet searches. So I'm guessing that means their Wi-Fi or computer, whatever it was. I don't know if it's a complete or partial list. To me, I mean, there is some redaction here. I know that to me, it looks like they carried out a whole lot more than what was on this list. What do I think about what Olivia said? Man, let me see if I can get Olivia. I'm going to send this to her. I don't know if I will get her, but all right. I just asked her. I just sent her an invite to see if she wanted to come. But no, I told her that I wanted to hear more about that. I believe that Olivia is very credible, and I find that very interesting. So, one second. But I'll find out more. We'll talk about it. So once I find out more, but right now I don't know. But she's very credible. So that's okay, Abby. Have a good night. So we'll keep going through this real quick. This is page 4 of this, and we'll stop here and answer any questions after this. It says basically any passwords, phrases, codes, patterns, fingerprints, basically anything, internet data, fingerprints, anything that's that has identification on it, etc. Talks about assistance from law enforcement agencies, state of Idaho, federal government, technical specialists, Idaho State Police Forensic Service. All this is authorized. So that was the warrant initially, what they were looking for. So let's talk about this. Let me go back and look at your questions. We'll stop here before we go on to the next part, because we got a lot to go on this, but we'll break it. We're breaking it down slowly, well, quickly, but slowly. Oh, that was my, sorry for the beeps. Yes, that was on my end, not y'all. No, the beeping is me getting texted, guys. All right. I honestly won't believe that until also they're getting the Kim, I think that's her name, but she's also saying the whole drug situation too. She does not have no. So I asked Olivia when she was on earlier, the person that she got her information from is not the same person who's saying it's a drug house, different person. And I trust Olivia's sources. I really do. Olivia is one of those that very rarely gets things wrong. And when she does, she is credible about it. She will retract it, similar to the way I do. That's why one of the reasons her and I get along so well and why I trust her so much. You can, Olivia, Chronicles of Olivia on TikTok. I believe she has a YouTube here as well, same name. But yeah. Psychological sleuth on TikTok with him. Interesting. Okay, so there's not a lot of questions right here. So, I don't know. I don't know if the security guard. I don't know what specifically you want to know. I don't know a lot about him, so it's hard to say. So this is basically, what is this? This is the application for the search warrant. Okay, so this is basically, we don't really need to go through this. This is them basically giving the reason why they think that they should get the search warrant. Talking about this. This is, again, their application. We saw, again, a lot of it's redundant. We've already gone through all of this. This is basically the supplemental disclosures, the things that they have found, why they're asking for a search warrant, and the reasoning why based on essentially the affidavit. I guess they decided to open it early, Nikki. I don't know, because nobody was expecting this to come out today. So there you go. We're through that. Okay, so this is continuing on with the exhibits as to why they are wanting the search warrant. They're basically giving the description of what happened. At this point, Sergeant Dustin Blaker is giving a little bit of his background, how he's qualified, 16 years of law enforcement, basically his credentials. Then he starts talking about the incident that they responded to. Talking about walking through the scene when they got there. Talked about how they learned whose room they was. Like in this case, they learned that from Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings that it was her room. Talking about the wounds here. Then they talk about finding Ethan. Sharp force injuries is how they describe it. They're going through the walkthrough of what happened when they got there. I'm talking about the chief labor process had K-bar, USMC on it. We know all the stuff we know about. Again, I haven't got a chance to read the whole thing, so we're doing this kind of together. So basically what this is, basically what this is the reason why they should, basically the account of what happened, why they're asking for the warrant. This is basically the statement that the police, or the report that the police wrote up. The statements from Dylan. Basically, this is all stuff that we've heard throughout the news. And again, if you want to read through this more in depth, because this is a lot of pages, I'm kind of rushing through this because, again, it's all stuff that we've heard. But this is on my Instagram. You're welcome to go look at it there. I put it's in 5 parts because you can only do 10 pictures at a time on Insta. Talks about how this is talking about the vehicle here. Talking about identifying the vehicle, the Hyundai Elantra, originally how it was a 2011 to 2013. They thought it could be a 2011 to 2016. Talking about how they were given video footage from WSU. Basically talking about the route that they think that it took. This is showing the routes. This is also that we've kind of seen before. I'm showing where the cameras are. This is in black and white, so it's a little harder to see. This talks about what the stories that most of us know, how they found the Elantra, how they queried why Elantras registered at WSU. And they found Kohberger's, ran the, and that's kind of how they found it. But they honed in on him. Let me go back to something. I'm going to look at something. Talks about his height and weight, bushy eyebrows. Talking about the car, the phone number. So a lot of this right here is basically, I mean, it's their report, but it's also a lot of what's in the affidavit. Well, Michelle, I can't help you then. I guess I'm just blurry. I'm just an out of focus creator. Yeah, yes, technically they're new documents. This is the unsealed search warrant today. And right now we're kind of in the reasons why they asked for a search warrant in the first place. They're talking about the cell phone reporting, the coverage, all that stuff right here. Well, I don't know why I'm blurry, guys. I'm sorry. This is, I know that we've talked about this in a couple of videos ad nauseum. The cell phone pings and the route that you could take, like the fastest route from it. This is the King Roadhouse, and this is where Bryan's apartment is. The fastest road goes. And that night he took this route, which went through a state park. Where I'm guessing my guess is that evidence was destroyed. So this is all stuff that we've talked about in the affidavit when we've gone through the affidavit. Talked about when he saw there, so. I'm sorry that I'm blurry, guys. I don't look blurry to me. On my end, I don't look blurry. Yeah, this is I get this document from Newsweek as well, but it's also if you want to go to my Instagram, it's there too. But yeah, these aren't too hard to find. You would just need to type in Kohberger search warrant PDF and you'll find it. I thought that they gave Ethan's golf clubs back to the family. I will come back to your question in a second, Jill. Let me get through this and then I'll stop. Then there's the talking about probable cause, evidence of the crime. At the end of it here, we're getting there. Oh, on JB. All right. Yes, I'm very excited, guys. Like I'm geeking out over this JB thing. So we're going through this. So this is long, and a lot of this is very redundant on things that we've seen before. Because we're 25 pages into this now. This is what we talked about earlier too, where this is what they're looking for. This was the beginning part of it, where they're talking about the things that they want to search for in the search warrant. So this is, I guess, the whole report requesting for that. The JB Live will be a week from today, next Wednesday. At 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 Central time. So again, this is still going. This is all still part of this report. We're on page 30 of it. And it says basically, based off the above information, all like 30 pages of it, they're seeking a search warrant for his office in Washington State. And they're saying that it's common for individuals to keep documents, records, and information of the described above in their office, and Kohberger's office is in the other location identified where this evidence could be found. So that's what this, all of that we just saw was strictly to get for a search warrant. And then this is toward the end. Yep. Okay. This is everything that was seized. That I don't know if this is a complete list, if this is a redacted list, because I know that to me it looked like the night that they took things out, there was a lot more stuff than this. The JB one, hey Josh, the JB one will be on TikTok because he's trying to grow his TikTok. Apparently, if you turn me horizontally, I will not be blurry. Speaking of Jill asked a question I said I'd come back to. Justin, if he unalives himself. Okay, so I want to know what questions y'all have about this list, and I will do my best to answer for y'all. In the meantime, I will try to answer Jill's question. What happened if he unalives himself or something happened to him before trial? Will they still give out info or details? They very well could. It ends up being ultimately up to the court, but there wouldn't be a trial, obviously, at that point. Okay, Judy is saying that this is probably what they kept, and that was kind of my thoughts too. JB's TikTok, I'll type it in the chat. If you want to follow JB on TikTok, there you go. So this is what they took out. Why do you think they separated the hairs and didn't group them together? Mike, okay, this is a good question. And Judy, you can tell me if I'm wrong here. My guess is that the hairs that they found, because you gotta remember, these are forensic guys. This is what they do. That the hairs that they might have found might be different hairs. And so instead of, you can ask many, you could ask, you don't have to say one more, Joe. You can ask as many as you want. That's what we're here for. That is what we are here for. It's my guess is that they are all possibly, they might be identifying them as possible different hairs from different people. And that might be why they are separated. Yeah, somebody, as Amber said, they different sources. Yeah, I think 8 of them might have been similar. I wonder if they came out of the vacuum. Oh, yes, Tori asked that earlier, and I forgot to come back to that. Do you think the dog that was skinned could potentially be the dog hair found? So as of now, they're saying that that's unrelated, but assuming it's not unrelated, then I think that that's possible. I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe. I kind of find it hard to believe that, like, this crime happened I think it was after Bryan had showed up, the skinned dog. And then all of a sudden there's a quadruple homicide. I mean, at least there's some weird shit going on in Idaho. Or I don't know, it's Bryan. Okay, so I had to Google y'all's question. This doesn't even make sense the way they're doing it. So what's interesting is when I'm trying to Google like the difference between a hair and a strand. This is a real quick Google search because I don't know the answer to this question that Whitney is asking. So when I don't know something, I will try to find out for you. And it's saying that a strand is one hair, but then it's saying one possible hair. So I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows the answer to that. Or maybe the location they found it. Yeah, that could be it too. I guess that makes a lot of sense. What do you think the discovery was that needed to be kept sealed for the public's safety? I don't know. To me, there's nothing in this that indicates. I mean, I don't know what else they know that this would play into, but to me, I don't see anything in this that would pose a threat to public safety. I don't know, because to me, this doesn't look public safety concerning. They could tap the parents' house if a judge approved it, but I don't think for whatever reason, they needed it. I don't think they needed it. I think they felt that they had enough information that they didn't need to do that. But yeah, with a warrant, they could. Maybe the hairs were his trophies. That's possible. Can they tap the parents' house for any kind of evidence? I believe that they probably did search the parents' house to some degree. I'm guessing. I don't know this to be for sure. But when they went in there, they might have taken any belongings they felt might have been crucial. They looks like they're very specific and they knew what they were looking for. I mean, they know, I don't know what they would have taken from Pennsylvania. Maybe there was a warrant that we don't know about, or whatever the case is. I doubt it, because I think somebody would have talked about it by now. But they probably could have again. If they were able to get the warrant to arrest him, they probably could have gotten the warrant for search if they felt that it was necessary. Maybe. Side note, does my daughter love her mirror? She does. Who is JB? JB is JB Buno of WFLA in Florida, which WFLA is great. They cover this stuff. He does a lot of the stuff, online. He's kind of a lot like Bryan Inton in the way that he covers things. He's a very reliable news source. And he and I worked together during Gabby Petito when we flew aerial banners around the Laundrie residence. He's the one that filmed it the entire time it was there and put it up online. So that's who he is. He's truly. I mean, he really is awesome. If you like following creators like myself, and and true news people like Bryan Inton. You'll like JB, like when we watch Banfield, you like that kind of stuff. You will like JB also. Yeah, a lot of it is legal jargon. I didn't pick up on this, Audra, so thank you. Please note nitrate, because you're right. I didn't even pick up on that. I just skimmed right past it. Nitrate gloves are different than nitrile. Nitrate are much more puncture resistant, and that's true. That's a good catch. Jessica, I don't know what I'm correct about. I forgot what I said. So I'm positive he had personal items with him in PA. Well, that they got the car, so I know they were able to seize the car. My question is, did the car end up in Pennsylvania, or did the car end up back in Idaho? Did they transport the car back? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got the trash from the neighbor's bin. I'm pretty sure. Do Gabby's parents know that I organized the banner? I don't know I've never spoken to Gabby's parents. My closest connection to that is Rose, and I know that Rose knows that I did it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if their parents know that I did it, but I didn't. I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do, and I legitimately thought when we did the banner. Let me throw this up. I legitimately thought when we did the banner that it might make a difference by putting some pressure on them because it would give them more news coverage. And I'm not saying people have told me that I should take credit for this, and I'm very hard pressed to do so. So what I will say is coincidentally, the day that we did that banner, the first one that went around the Laundry's house, people in that live were like, let's raise money for another one to send over Cassie Laundry's house, the sister, because she wasn't speaking either. And that live got up to like 7,000, 6,000 or 7,000 people, and money was coming in. We raised the money for that like super duper quick. And I think that there's no way just by the law of numbers that somebody who knew Cassie, the odds of somebody who knew Cassie seeing and saw that live was very, very, very high, and saying something maybe along the lines of, they're coming for your house next. And then when Olivia, Chronicles of Olivia, went over there with Bullhorn Betty, Andra, Cassie came out and talked to them. For the first time they talked to them. And so we decided to take the money because the deal was, since she came out and talked to them, the deal was that they would, we'd leave them alone. And so we did the second banner back at the parents' house again. Good night, Michael. It's okay, Jill. I appreciate that. I'm trying to figure it out too. Yes, yeah, JB is amazing. Okay, a strand is a single intact hair, but could also be a fiber. One possible hair is a piece. Okay. How does a fire stick play into... I can actually answer this one. I actually know the answer to this one. How does a fire stick play into this heinous crime? You can search the internet on it. And maybe he felt by I don't know what Bryan did, but maybe he felt by searching the internet on his fire stick that he would be able to like put it past them, but they took the fire stick. Okay, you think that the car. Sorry, the car. Yes, that's what we talked about. That Pennsylvania sent it to Idaho and was processed in Monroe County. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, the banner was great. The banner is one of the things I'm most proud of. Well, thank you, Jill. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, possibly YouTubes that he watched as well. Interesting, Scara. That's interesting. About the Freedom of Information Act and the car warrant. That's interesting. I don't know enough about that, but that's interesting. Oh, that's right. You did have your son's gaming account. That was so funny. I'm very proud of the banner, guys. Well, I think that they did take some of his shoes. I mean, it doesn't say it on here, but I'm just trying to go back to when they pulled it out. I think that we saw them take a bag with shoes in it. I think. I could be full of shit too, though. Why don't we hear about I don't know. I haven't talked to Andrew that much. I know she was with Olivia in Idaho. I'm just scrolling through y'all's questions real quick. Why do most murderers like to buy new shoes before a murder? Like, I swear it always goes back to, well, they just bought these new shoes at insert store. I don't know. Maybe they think that the old shoes would have traces of something on them, and so a brand new pair wouldn't. Okay, maybe I'm getting confused with the King Street house. He bought Dickies at work, Walmart, and aren't those work clothes? Yes, they are. And I don't really see Bryan Kohberger as the type of guy to wear Dickies, but maybe I'm wrong. What Scare said. Okay, so what are the questions about this before we talk about a couple other things? Before I take this down, I can take this down. All right, I'll sit my butt up now. Okay. Yeah, well, they talked about a Tyvek suit too. Is it in here? Oh, they talked about a Tyvek suit. No, that's the other case. That's the other case. Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it too. I'm sure that they sorted through everything and decided this is what they were going to keep. Yeah, it's possible. And the thing is, so here's what they could do with that. They could take the tags. They can do a couple things. They know that he bought Dickies. They know that those Dickies were at Walmart. They can probably, if they have a receipt now from a couple places, Walmart receipts with one Dickies tag. Walmart and Marshalls both have cameras. So they can go get that surveillance probably pulled. And I'm sure they probably already have. Okay, you want to talk about the other Bryan? Yeah, the other Bryan. Yeah, other Bryan. Okay, let me talk about something fun before I move on to the next murder case, because we're going to talk about a lot of murder tonight. So I think it's a good segue. So if y'all are in here, I don't remember if it was TikTok. I think it was in here. A few nights ago, I was talking about this affiliation thing that I was going to do. Like, okay, so I don't do any promotions on TikTok, and definitely not on here because I haven't been on here long enough. But I don't do any of that because I will only promote stuff that I believe in. So I was approached before the holidays about doing this program or this affiliation program where the shirt they have, it's very quintessentially millennial existential dread kind of stuff, which I think is hilarious. It's that very dark, dry kind of humor. So today's shirt, for example, let me turn it down, is can we move this down so I can make it better? Hold on. There we go. This shirt says everything is terrible. And I have another one that says have the day you deserve. And another one that says, I wish I was filled with donuts instead of existential dread. So I love these. And that's why I decided to do the affiliation, because I think that they're hilarious. So if people want them, I have a link, I think, or at least I have a discount code that people get to use. And then if people buy them, then I get a kickback from it because I'm just honest, and that's just how that works. But there's a lot of really great stuff on there. So if any of you guys are interested, I can post that information. But I think that they're great. I ordered a bunch of stuff because, yeah. Esther asks, what about the rumors going around about other people knowing about what happened before the 911 call? So I just kind of got wind of that tonight, Esther. I believe that based on the person who told me, Olivia, a friend of mine, I believe that I believe that it's a legit rumor. I don't believe that it's unfounded. I would like to find out more information first before I said anything fully opinion-wise. But based on what I know now, I believe that it is true. But I need to find out more information before I say that with 100% certainty. Oh, yeah, no, but it's a good, yeah, I got you. The site is, let me get you the information out for that. They have really great stuff. I can pull it up for a second too. Let me see. Bear with me, guys. That's what I want to find out more, Britt. That's what I want to find out more. Like I said, why is this not loading? Oh, this is annoying. I don't know enough about the rumor to even repeat the rumor. Basically, the rumor that I've heard is that there are people who knew about the murders before the 911 call was even made. So that is the rumor. Bear with me. What's ticking? I think it's ticking at me over here. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I need to find out more. Like I said, I don't want to just speak completely out of my ass because I don't know for sure. Maybe this is in my real email. Maybe that's why. Hold on. All right, give me a second. I'm trying to show y'all something, but I'm trying to. I cannot find any of the stuff that I need to show y'all, and that is annoying. Who's this from? Okay, well, I cannot find the person who sent me the stuff that I need to talk to y'all about, or I guess as far as the shirt goes, but I will work on that. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So here's the web. I'll put it in the chat. I can get it pulled up too. We'll talk about something fun real quick, and then we'll go. So basically, that's the name of the site for it. I believe that's just it. Okay, so what happens is it's a 10% discount if you use my code, and my code is literally just my name. It's Justin. That's the code. But yeah, if y'all like it, I'll pull it up real quick, and then we'll get to something. We'll get back to murder. Just humor me on this, guys, real quick, because I think that they're hilarious, and I want to show you. So this is the site. So I'll go because I know I have mostly women in here, so I'll do lady stuff. But like this, like these, I just think they're great. Like someday we'll all be dead. It's just very, I don't know. It's just very millennial. I just love it. Live and anxious, living my okayest life. I need to do this in there, but yeah. My unyielding melancholy brings all the existentialists to the yard. No one asked you. Maybe tomorrow. I just love these guys. I just think that they're great. I got a list of this one. So yeah, if you use code Justin, that's my name. They have other stuff outside of shirts too. But no, the discount is for anything on the site. Anything on the site. I thought about buying this one because I am definitely like I take issue with improper spelling and grammar. It's no thanks. I mean, these are just great, guys. They're just great. Whenever I'm getting tacos, I mean, it's all sorts of different things. I mean, there's a ton on here. I got this one, and I got this one too for myself. So anyway, I'm not gonna, or this one, first of all, no. Second of all, no. So anyway, okay, I will stop showing y'all these, but they also have like accessories. They have kids stuff, duffel bags, totes, prints. One of their best sellers, they said, was like these journals. So anyway, I'll stop showing y'all this, but because people are, yeah, I have the day you deserve. I bought that one for myself too. I was actually going to wear that one tonight. But yes, I love it. It's great. So I'll post the link again. It's right here. There it is. It's boardwalktshirts.com, and the code is Justin for the discount. But I think they're great. Like I said, I bought 3 for myself and 1 for Alyssa. And I'm going to buy more for Alyssa, but and I just think they're great. So now let's go talk about something else. All right. I don't know that. Stop the screen. All right. So do we guys? Okay. So we're still talking about Kohberger. We are welcome to do so, obviously. I kind of want to talk about Bryan Walshe a little bit, if y'all are okay with that. This guy is dumb. Yeah, I don't know, Allison. I need to find out more information. What's clicking over here? The keyboard? I don't know. I don't know. Something's going to blow up, I guess. Okay, so for those of y'all, I don't know how many people were in Banfield tonight. Have y'all seen Bryan Walshe and like the shit he got arraigned on today? Like, have y'all seen this? Okay, I'm gonna pull it up in case y'all haven't. I think they need to see this. Let me find me on TikTok. I'll pull up this video. Actually, I might pull up a different video. That's not me. Hold on. If I can find the original. No, this doesn't work real well on the computer. Okay. I'm going to turn this up for y'all, and we're going to share this. Okay, I just want y'all to hear his search history, and then we can talk a little bit more about the situation. But I just want y'all to hear this again because, my God, guys. Let me just play this. Sorry, I'm in the background. I wish I could take my face out of it, but here we are.
So I will be doing a live.
No, that's not me. We talked about that's not what I want. I want this one.
At 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell. At 4:58 a.m., how to stop a body from decomposing. At 5:20 a.m., he searched how to unbound a body. At 5:47 a.m., 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. At 6:25 a.m. on the 1st, how long for someone to be missing to inherit. At 6:34 a.m. on the 1st, can you throw away body parts? At 9:29 a.m., what does formaldehyde do? At 9:34 a.m. on the 1st, how long does DNA last? At 9:59 a.m., can identification be made on partial remains? At 11:34 a.m., dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. At 11:44, how to clean blood from wooden floor. At 11:56 on the 1st, luminol to detect blood. At 1:08, what happens when we put body parts in ammonia? At 1:21 p.m., is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them?
Okay, we don't need to hear me again. All right, stop. All right, let me stop sharing. All right. Thoughts? I want to address something with this too, and with Bryan Kohberger, as a matter of fact. They literally timelined the murder in his Google search history. Yeah, it's a timeline episode, and on top of that, they found here's my stuff there. They found a bloody knife in the basement. They found his DNA mixed with DNA in a rug. But like, here's the thing: on the 27th, dude is posting, best states for a divorce in Tennessee, or not Tennessee. Sorry. Again, drinking. This is what happens to me when I drink and I'm tired. The best state to get a divorce in. Period. Right. And people are like, well, why would he do this instead of getting a divorce? And Alyssa brought up a good point. I don't think she's in here anymore, but she brought up a good point about this and said, well, this could have been one of those situations because obviously, he's threatened to kill her before. He's been abusive before. And maybe now that the kids are older, he's starting to be abusive to the kids. And she's like, you know what? I'm divorcing you. We are going to make our own with our own thing. I'll come back to that. I'm divorcing you. I'm taking the kids. We're moving to DC. You're not going to see them again. And because a lot of these guys have control issues, drink another one. Because a lot of these guys have control issues, it becomes about more than just like, all right, our marriage didn't work. It's, you know what I'm saying? That's the issue. But the thing is like for women, and I know that when I make videos about this, I have all of the incels, which is a word apparently I can't say on TikTok, but all the incels and the misogynists and the women haters come out against me saying that I'm virtue signaling and all that stuff, but I'm not. I think that I to a degree, yes, they did find her purse with her vaccination card. They did find that too. But I think I've always been a little bit more in tune to like what women have to go through to a degree. but I've become so much more in tune with it since I've had a daughter. And I know that she's very young still, but when you see these types of things in the comments that people make, but it's like if Bryan Kohberger, so we're gonna switch over to back to other Bryan. If this started, which we don't know about it, but if this started because she wasn't responding to his DMs, then it's like, if you're polite to a guy, he could kill you. If you ignore a guy, he could kill you. If you don't answer him in your DMs, he could kill you. It's like, thank you for getting it, because I'll get a little piece of that back. So appreciate it, Erica. It's like, well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think Judy hit the nail on the head. I'll put this here. It's like how like y'all aren't safe anywhere. And I did a video, here, and it's a while back on my thing, because I'm allowed to be a little bit more whatever here, crass on YouTube. There was a video where a guy was like, I forget exactly the details of it, but a guy was basically caught screwing a corpse, a woman's, so even in death, y'all aren't safe. It's just really like, I'm exhausted for y'all. And I just don't know. It's just got to be terrifying every day to be a woman. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. Like I said, a lot of you ever say that I'm virtue signaling or whatever, and I'm going against my gender, but no, I'm not. But what Judy said is correct. So yeah, even in death, y'all aren't safe. So anyways, that is my thought on that. But this guy, he didn't get divorced. So instead, he's now going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Massachusetts does not have, a lot of people are like fry him. Well, Massachusetts got rid of the death penalty in 1984. So they're not going to fry him or a lethal injection. He will at most spend the rest of his life in jail. I'm gonna come back. I'm putting this up there so I can come back to this, because I don't disagree with you, but I think it's more than that. That's the thing. There's Alyssa. Alyssa, you want to come on with me? Come on with me. I'm going to give you a link. She won't come on because she can't put a filter on. Let's send her this. I'm going to send her this, and she's going to decline it, but I'm going to do it anyways. There. Maybe she'll come on and she could just be in the dark, like one of those interviews where you don't really show their face like they did in the 90s. Maybe she could do that. She could get a voice box thing or whatever. Apparently it does happen a lot in funeral homes. I know she doesn't need a filter, but tell her that, not me. See, she goes, I'm in bed. That was what that ding was, guys. She's not, she could get out of bed and put herself in the dark and talk to us, but she's going to not do that. But anyway, so now Bryan Walshe, his kids are very likely going to be separated. His three boys, 2, 4, and 6 years old, are going to be separated from each other. They're now in the system. Her family his mom, the grandmother, can't take them because she's being investigated in regard to all of this. Yeah, sorry, I know it's the phone. It's the phone dinging. And Anna's parents live in Serbia, so I mean, maybe there's going to be some arrangements made. I don't know, but it's just, he took away their mom, and they took away. I mean, their dad was a monster, but. Well, the nice thing about Bryan number 1, actually he's Bryan number 2, and and Bryan Walshe is Bryan number 3. Bryan number 1 is still Bryan Laundrie, but Bryan number 2 here, he's in a state with a death penalty, so he'll be in this thing. So that's really sad. That is really sad. I want to come back to Rebecca's comment real quick. I think that it is more than that. I think that I think a lot of it. I'm not, Alyssa. I'm not. I just want you to come on because you have great insight. That's me responding to the text. But she doesn't like the way the YouTube is, the way that its layout is. Yeah, we just want to hear. All right, I'm getting yelled at. I should not have said that. So, sorry. Bryan number 3 is not from a different country. His wife is from a different country. Walshe pled not guilty today. So we'll get Alyssa on a TikTok on another night. If she's in bed, it means that she's just done. She's just done for the day. She's relaxing. So I will leave her alone and stop giving her a hard time, even though it's out of love. I'm trying to look at this bit. He looked at it like he was discarding the no longer useful wife. He was helping the kids. That's kind of the issue there with people like that, is they feel like it's kind of a help, like that they're helping when they're really not. I'm reading some of this stuff. No, he did plead today. Alyssa said she's unsubscribing now. That's funny. You better not unsubscribe. I need the subscriber. I'm trying to grow the channel, Alyssa. That's well, I'm glad that the case got attention. Now, I will say this, and I know that a lot of people say it. There's a lot of missing and murdered Indigenous women that need attention that literally get no press whatsoever. There's a lot of persons of color that get. She is very funny. She really is very funny. She also has a very dark sense of humor sometimes. I'm not saying that this is dark, but she can have a very dark sense of humor, and it's kind of funny. We both can. Like, there's sometimes we think of things and we're like, man, this would be really funny, but it's so inappropriate. So we don't do it. But there's a lot of persons of color that need the support as well, and they just don't get it. And it's really sad, because every person who's missing, needs the support. They all have family, they all have loved ones, they all, Alyssa's like your mom. That's funny. Alyssa is very funny. She really is. She's got a sense of humor that a lot of other people, like a lot of other women, she definitely fits in very well with people who have that dark and kind of, I don't know how to describe her sense of humor, but it's good. Now, the other thing about Anna's case, because Audra just said this, I'm going to put this up here. I hope Anna's case continues to get attention. I think that people have begun to expect that men kill their wives, and it isn't as shocking, unfortunately. Well, I think that's part of it. I think that we get desensitized to it, but it's always the husband. It's always the boyfriend. Almost every single time. And it's like, oh, it's like school shootings. We're at a point now with school shootings. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, there's been so many that happened. Hold on. I'm going to Google this to make sure I get the right numbers. Trying to figure out how much there's been like a ridiculous amount of school shootings in 2022, and we don't even hear about hardly any of them anymore. All right, there were 51 school shootings last year, which is the highest number of casualties, or is that just deaths? No, that's the shootings, and the highest number of casualties. Now Uvalde was a lot of them. So this year in 2022, 39 kids died from school shootings and 101 were injured. But we're desensitized. We're getting very desensitized to that, right? Because we hear about it all the time, and they don't even say a lot of it. She did do a lot today. It was a very busy day today. And it's the same thing with this, though. This case, Anna, Anna Walsh is domestic violence. Oh, that's funny, Joe. This is domestic violence. This is the same thing that happened in Gabby Petito. It was domestic violence. Chris Watts, domestic violence, and he killed his kids. So that is what needs to be aware. There needs to be so much more awareness for domestic violence, and there needs to be so many more resources for predominantly women, because women are more often the victim than men, but there are men who are victims of it too. And there need to be really more resources for anybody who is a victim of domestic violence. And because what you're seeing in Anna's case, what you saw in Gabby Petito's case, and what you see in so many cases, is that it's just domestic violence going to the extreme, and it's sad. It's really sad. Who was watching the kids while Bryan Walsh did all this? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. See, this right, I'm not trying to call you out on this. There are so many and I said this in a video, and I had people come after me, like a lot of men just really come after me for this, that I don't know a single woman that hasn't had some kind of incident. Most of the time it is when they are underage, usually that 11, 12 to 15, 16 mark. And it could be something like this. It could be an inappropriate comment, but almost every woman I know has had something happen to them along these lines. And when I said that, the people came at me and told me that I must be the problem if that's what I know, but it's I listen and I understand what they mean. But if you look, that same video, which I've talked about multiple times that I'm referring to, like the entire comment section of that video is a problem. So, okay, I'm going to go back and look at those questions. So, I'm trying to go back and look at these things. Somebody said two DV murders in Sydney already this year. One yesterday, who left behind 2 kids. That's terrible. We need more resources for mental health. I agree. This is a huge thing. And when Gabby, and I really wanted to do something with this, this concept during Gabby Petito's case. And what I mean by that is I wanted to talk about or bring, attention, have somebody in the health profession community help me to draft something that basically we could send to legislators demanding for mental health. I forget exactly where it was. I knew the research back then, but I think it was a city in Kentucky. And this is and then when people get real mad about what defund the police, this is what they mean. And I used to get mad, not happy about the defund the police. They're like, well, we need police. We need non-aggressive police, but we need police. But then it was explaining to me what it really meant. It means to take some of the money that goes from that and use it towards mental health in the departments. If you start, and what they discovered in the places that have done something similar, if you start taking mental health professionals out, counselors out to these domestic violence calls, typically there's not a second call. The mental health person is able to diffuse the situation and help both parties get to the point that they need to be. And it's been very, very successful, which ultimately does save the department money. So one of my creator friends, because again, I can say this on here, one of my creator friends on TikTok, and she has shared her story on her TikTok, so I can say this too, and I think it's okay. But she was sexually abused by her stepfather when she was 7 years old, which is horrific. Okay. She's the one, if you guys saw the video I did about the sex dolls and how people can lift your children's pictures, often have custom sex dolls made of whoever they want. It's that creator. And she and this was in the 90s, and he apparently was also sexually abusing his own biological son. And there was basically the way that the mom found out was that there was some discussion along the lines of, you don't let people touch there or whatever, one of those like no touch talks, bad touch talks. And she responded with like, well, it's okay if the person really loves you. And then she looks over at her stepdad and does this, and the mom realized, but she couldn't leave right away, but she literally beat him with a baseball bat and made him sign a confession and did not ever leave him with the kids again until they could leave, because there were no resources for her to leave. That's the point of that. And then you have this, which when women do defend themselves, then they can end up in prison too. It's really just a shitty situation all around. I'm sorry, Judy, that you went through this. All right, you know what? Let me talk about this. This kind of pisses me off. So going back to reading what y'all are saying first. So a lot of y'all know that the Grizzlies went to jail today, and they have a pretty long sentence. And Alyssa brought something up that was very interesting, I thought, and that is, look, the Grizzlies did something that they should be punished for, right? We're not denying that the Grizzlies broke the law, they embezzled money, etc. But is what they did worse than what Josh Duggar did? Okay. Because not only did Josh Duggar have what he had, but apparently he had, according to the investigators, like there is like a top tier worst of the worst, like abuse, torture type video of children. And he had that, like the top tier, like the absolute worst anybody could see. And I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is, but it was apparently very, very, very bad. And we know that he sexually abused his sisters. There's rumors that he sexually abused his own children. This person, he is a menace. He is a real problem. And he got less time than the Grizzlies. And I think that that's fucked up. I think that that's really fucked up. Because, yeah, the Grizzlies did a white-collar crime. They embezzled or stole some money, lied about money, whatever the case is. Should they be punished 100%? 100%. But yeah, they only heard business is banking. So let me pull up this. I'm going to pull this up. This is a fairly newish update. Because as long as we're going to be depressed about everything that we're talking about, I'll wait for that to load. Well, good luck, Audra. $1,700 died in 2023 so far from guns. Yeah, marijuana charges get more than rape and change. Yeah. I have not heard that yet. Those numbers are insane. I believe it. I mean, I totally believe it. Let me pull this out here. I'm going to switch gears on this. And if you're just coming in here and you don't follow me on here, please do. I'm trying to grow this channel. And thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. But let's, on our theme of murder, and gun violence. Okay. So do y'all, don't give me this pop-up. Okay, so what do y'all know about this? Do y'all know anything about this? Yeah, so Judy, that's 100% right. When Brendan Fraser, he was black. He would think about how huge he was in the 90s. Those of y'all who are like me and old enough to remember him. He was in so much stuff, very up and coming, and he was abused, and they blackballed him 100%. Yeah, the children. Yeah, they literally ruin children, 100%. Okay, 100%. So I don't know how much y'all know about this. We're switching gears as we talk about murders and gun violence and drugs. So 6 people were killed in this. It was a targeted attack. I heard a little bit about it on Dan Abrams tonight, and it was talking about like fentanyl. I mean, this doesn't really tell us a lot, but the medicines here, the massacre has been described as particularly brutal for execution style killings. So 2 of the people that were killed in this were very innocent. One was a teen mother, a 16-year-old mom, and her 10-month-old baby. Apparently, the way the gunshot wounds were is it was from a position that they were standing like right over them and shot them. And they were completely innocent. They also killed her grandmother, who was 72. Can I see? I believe they believe it's a cartel hit, and they believe I think based on what I saw earlier on Abrams is that it was, I think, fentanyl related. Our justice needs reformed from the bottom up. My husband is an LE, and we watch people get more time for drugs than, say, leaving kids at home alone to die in a whole house fire while they party. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. Yeah, thank you, Jessica. That's how I look at it too, but I can't explain that to the people because they just don't get it. Because the men who are making the comments on that video like that, they're making those comments because they aren't those types of guys. So, anyways, they found the body. I know the 16-year-old and her son. They were fleeing, and they caught up with them. Other people were hiding. They believe that it was a cartel hit, that they came over here. Apparently, the involvement of a drug cartel is not confirmed, but the sheriffs are saying it's a possibility. Apparently, it's that style. He said, "I'm not saying this is a cartel," he said, "but I'll also be clear, I'm not eliminating that possibility." He said they were all shot in the head or places a shooter would know a quick death would follow. It was likely a high-level gang-style execution or cartel-style execution, or possibly related to both gangs and cartels, and he did not name a specific one. There were 3 people that were not fatally shot, and he did not identify the survivors. I'm sure that's for safety. One of the survivors hid in the main house by lying on the floor of a room with his feet against the door, while other 2 survivors were in a nearby trailer, which the shooters never entered. And here are the names of the victims. Right here, you had Nicholas Perez, who was 10 months, Alyssa Perez, 16 years old, Marcos, 19, Jennifer, 50, and then her grandmother, Rosa, 72, and this 52-year-old man, Elado. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So it was all pretty much a family. Rosa, the 72-year-old, was Alyssa and Marcos's, who's up here, grandmother. And Elado was an uncle to both of Alyssa and Elado Perez Jr., sorry, was an uncle. It's very confusing. But yeah, anyways, it's very sad. This is something we should pay attention to, because if what this is this is cartels coming over, from Mexico and doing cartel hits on U.S. soil, that's a big issue, because they used to not do that. Y'all don't seem to care about the cartel hit. We're just talking about whatever. So Donna, I kind of used to think that, but I think that obviously I don't know this for sure, but I think that you possibly get to a point where you just recognize it as being normal. Like, this is just your life. Josh Duggar is a problem. I did another video when everything happened on Roe v. Wade, which I did a lot of videos after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I did a lot of videos on that. And there was like a 10-year-old girl in Ohio whose mom's boyfriend impregnated her, and she couldn't even get an abortion for it because, she's 10 years old. Because of the new rules in her state. It's so messed up. Even if you don't believe in elective abortion, there are still very important medical reasons as to why somebody might need one. So I'm trying to read y'all's comments here real quick. I'm just looking at y'all's. Well, the issue, I think, with a lot of the people that do these crimes against children, I think a lot of them have abuse in their past and they need to get help. This goes back to mental health. That instead of fixing the cycle and breaking a cycle, they continue to perpetuate a cycle. And I'm not saying that's the case of all of them, and I'm definitely not excusing it. I'm just saying that we have a real mental health problem in this country. I'm going to give this, I'm going to be on for just a few more minutes. I'll give it another 5 or so, and then I'm fading, guys. I'm waiting. The comments are waiting for them to catch up. I'll look at this real quick. Are you saying they are curable or they aren't curable? The thing is, but with it being inhumane, you know what? Doing the stuff that these people do is inhumane. The things that these people do are inhumane. So why do I care? I personally think that, again, this goes whatever. I personally think that that capital, when you go look at the countries that have had, which typically it's Middle Eastern countries with very strict laws, and I'm not advocating that, obviously, but the countries that, they'll chop off a hand if you steal, you don't see people with missing 2 hands, is all I'm saying. Okay, you're saying or not, sorry. I'm reading else. It's just, if you, and the thing, well, sorry, I started reading stuff and then I started reading, but no, I think like if you abuse a child, then let somebody who's on death row abuse you. Same way, like if you, a kid, then let somebody do that to you in prison, whether you want to or not, forcibly. You murder somebody by stabbing them to death with a knife or hacking you up, and that's how you die. You know what? Maybe if Brian Walshe knew that if he got caught, his death sentence would be that somebody was going to hack him up with hacksaws while he was still alive, because that's how I would want it done, with no painkillers, which, yes, would be inhumane. Then maybe he would think twice. That's all. This is where I get unfiltered and the shit that I can't say on TikTok. So I want to talk about this. I agree 100%. And since my dad does not follow me on TikTok or on here yet, I will say this. I will get into this discussion, and I don't mean any disrespect to any older generation people who are in here, but there is a real problem with a lot of the baby boomer and older silent generations in mental health. There's a stigma attached to it, and they refuse to get it. Like my father and I haven't spoke since early November. And the reason that we haven't spoke, and I'll tell you all the truth, is he came up to visit. And it's always a problem. He's on wife number 7, and she is only with him because she is a gold digger. And this is me getting truthful here with y'all real quick. And so, like, we've already, like, and I'm not, like, it's whatever, you know, like, we're not being left anything because everything has to go to his wife when he passes. He's going to be 78 in April. Everything has to go to his wife when she passes, and then she's supposed to give it to my brother, my sister, and I when she passes, but we know that that's never going to happen. That's beside the point. But when he came to my house, within 10 minutes, we hadn't even gone inside yet of being here. My 3-year-old daughter's out playing, 3.5-year-old daughter's out playing near us, and we're standing in the driveway. And there's a couple of things that we talked and do. He drops the N-word real quick, which we don't tolerate. If y'all know me, I use my platform to speak out against racism. I don't tolerate those words in my home. I won't allow those words in my home. And I sure as fuck won't allow them around my daughter. So that was number one. Then within the same 10-minute time period, he switches. And then he starts talking about, because he's from this generation, I guess, and that's the excuse that we're giving, that he's from this generation where he starts talking about like all the girls he sees on TikTok and how they're dressed, and that they're just basically that they deserve it for the way they dress conversation. To which Alyssa piped up and says something along the lines of, so Victoria's 14 years old. She's on a beach. She's wearing a bathing suit, and somebody raped her because she's wearing a bathing suit. She deserved it because how she's dressed. And then my father proceeds to show me his TikTok where it's all, the half naked women. And I'm like, yeah, that's your algorithm. He's like, no, I don't want to see this. This just shows up. I'm like, yeah, it shows up because it's your algorithm. I said, let me show you my algorithm. My algorithm is full of murder. So it is not the same. I do not have what you have on there. So anyways, I'm just very frustrated. So my father at the same time, this is just me bitching now. We haven't spoken. And at the same time, he talked about how much he loves my daughter, but when he comes up here, he never gives her. He's physically here, but he's not there, right? And he hasn't made any effort with her. I mean, he sent her a Christmas present. We sent him a thank you video for it, of course, but not any calls, nothing, whatever. And then my sister is trying, and so I'm mad at him for all of these reasons that I'm talking about. Yes, he clearly interacts with that type of content on his feed. 100% Amber. That's the only reason you get that. My feed, I can show you my feed right now. You will not see any of that because I respect my wife. And so I'm not going to look at a bunch of half-naked dancing girls that are far too young for me because that's disrespectful. Yeah, my algorithm is murder and car stuff. Lots of car stuff. But anyways, his father passed away when he was 13 years old, and that's an excuse for everything. But like when the woman he was with before the one he's with now, who he was with for 10 years, her son passed away unexpectedly, and she told him within days to get over it. My dad's still bitching about his dad who died 65 years ago. Yes, the Miley Cyrus stuff, Amber, I'm on that. That's good for her. I decided I don't like Jennifer Lawrence anymore at this point either, based on Miley's video. And the thing is, I don't like Miley, but I like Miley more from this. And then my dad also, so he told her to get over it. So anyways, then he didn't go to his own sister's funeral, which if y'all saw my story on that, my aunt was very loaded and it was all drug money when she passed away. But because she didn't leave him anything, she refused to go to the funeral. But then he expects us to go to his funeral even though he's not leaving anything. And it's just very contradictory, his actions. So it's just, I'm very frustrated. And so then my sister, I'm going to say this part, and then I'll shut up about it. So my sister's like trying to fix it. She's like, hey, I'd like to have a conference call with, you, me, and Justin. We can maybe Zoom. And he's like, no, I'll have a call with you, but not with him. So, that's also pitting siblings against each other. So I'm just very challenged at the moment. And that is that. That's a good statement. Yeah. That's that. I don't even need to say anything about that. That's just a true statement. So, anyways, I'm just very frustrated. But the thing about my dad is he is 78, or he's turning 78, and he's in great shape. You'd never know he was 78. He's turning 78 in April. But like his whole view on things is very, very, very wrong. I want to talk about what Jessica says here. So first, I am sorry, Jessica, for your friend. That is horrible that anybody has to go through this. And this is one of those examples. This is one of those examples of why abortion should not be completely illegal. I don't know what state you live in. I live in Tennessee, where abortions are not legal at all, even for life of the mother. They can say that it is in like the music, but if you read the actual bill, it's not. If y'all know the story of my daughter's birth, my daughter was born at 29 weeks and 3 days. My wife had something called vasa previa, which meant that the umbilical cord was over her cervix and slightly exposed. So if anything happened, Victoria would have bled out in less than 5 minutes. And that's a generous estimate. I agree, Jessica. People don't do third trimester. People don't do third trimester abortions for funsies. If you make it to the third trimester, it's because it was a very wanted child, and the decision you're having to make to do that is one that is traumatic in and of itself, as you've said. But with the new rules in Tennessee now, although I'll give it to my wife's OB so for those of y'all who don't know our backstory, we now are learning that Victoria was born at 29 weeks. Before that, we had a pregnancy loss. So pregnancy does not agree with my wife. So effectively, the overturning of Roe v. Wade is the state making the decision for us that we cannot have children anymore. Is basically what it is, because I'm not willing to risk my wife over that. Because if what happened to Alyssa and Victoria the day that Victoria was born happened now, the doctor might not make the same decision she made, because she wouldn't want to go to jail or get sued or get hit with a felony with the hospital, or the split-second decision that needed to be made, because it was literally a split-second decision, might not have been made under the new rules in Tennessee. And so that is one of the reasons that I very much speak up about it. I'm very much against, and this is a whole thing that I could talk about this for an hour. My dad, who I wanted his approval and my love my entire life, has turned into such a disappointing racist human. It breaks my heart. Maybe he always was, and I just grew up. Sorry, you have that too, Erica. Yeah, the thing is, it's one of those situations. It really is. You get what you get. It's my that's how it was with my mom. My mom is a malignant narcissist, and she's very cruel and very mean. And again, my daughter's 3.5 years old. My mom and I, next month will be 4 years since we've talked. And she's made no effort to get to know her grandchild at all. And she's the one that cut me off, and I just kept it cut off instead of begging her for forgiveness, as I usually did. And I knew that my dad was narcissistic as well, but he's not a mean narcissist. He's not like vindictive and cruel like my mom is. So you tolerate it, but now it's getting to a point where I wish I could say what I really want to think, but I can't, because that goes against what I like to do on social media. That's my own personal boundary. But he's getting to a point where having a conversation with him is becoming very difficult. But it's a thing, again, against mental health. They know so much that's not correct. lead poisoning truly was an issue. I saw an article the other day that people born after 1996 have a higher IQ, statistically have a higher IQ than those of us born before 1996 because lead gas was officially outlawed in January 1 of 1996. Yeah, so you women understand about this stuff. And Alyssa too. Alyssa, before she went into the OR, recorded a video in case she didn't make it for Victoria. I mean, that's how serious it was. And now, okay, I'm on the soapbox. I'm just going to go there. So now the argument was, well, we didn't really overturn it. We returned the rights to the states. In a state like mine, in a state like Tennessee, the vast majority of the population can't spell abortion, much less know the ins and outs of what happens when people need one for a true medical reason. They don't understand that there's a lot of gray areas, that it is medical, and that giving those people who have no healthcare experience whatsoever the right to vote on that is wrong. And for my wife and I, it puts the government more in our personal lives than not. No, I don't ever go political. That's the thing, is I try to keep my political opinions completely out of it. So I won't go quite there, which is where I almost went. But because my political opinions are irrelevant, no matter what they are. So anyways, but that's the point, is that you have a lot of people, and they're doing, you know, a lot of people who don't believe in science at all, who are now making health decisions on something that they don't even believe in because they don't understand it. So anyways, yeah, that's where I get very frustrated with it. And, you know, to the point that we've talked about leaving Tennessee because of it. We've not thought about adopting. I don't know. I mean, I don't think either one of us are against adoption. But I think Alyssa, and I get this. I totally get this. Well, there's a lot of things, Erica, there's a lot of things that are medical that shouldn't be political, but they have turned political. A lot of things. And I'm talking even outside the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm talking about, Alyssa was in a mom group today or recently, and they were talking about this woman is worried about, because I guess wherever she lives, there's a measles outbreak. And she's worried about getting measles, and she doesn't want to get her kid vaccinated. And it's like, maybe you could get your kid the measles vaccine, and that would maybe help them from getting the measles, but whatever. But these are the people now who are making the decisions for our healthcare, and they don't have the education. I don't have the education to make those decisions. That's why we rely on medical professionals. I'm sorry, Judy. Yes, yeah. You know what's weird about the comments in here is, like, there's some stuff, like, they'll start to show up. Like, y'all might have made these comments a while ago. Like, I'm looking at the one that Anita just said. I don't know if I'm that delayed, depending on where they are, but stuff still will show up for something that we talked about like 10 minutes ago. It's very weird how the comments are working tonight. So, yeah, I know it's not live right now. Oh yeah, so what I was gonna say is I started to say something, I got distracted by comments. We did go through the unsealed warrant earlier, and this is saved. I did do that at the beginning, so if once we're off, if you want to go back and watch it, you don't have to go too far in for us to go through the warrant. There really isn't a whole lot to it, to be honest with you, but you know what though, Amber, again, I'm not going to go with my opinion, but the fact that because Texas was one of those elections that everybody was watching. You guys are like Florida, and the fact that Beto got as much of the vote as he did compared to Abbott is, I think, that's a very interesting change for Texas. I'm not saying a good change or a bad change. I'm saying a very interesting change. Well, thank you, Jessica. You know, the thing about it too, and this is what I was talking to my sister about today, like you can choose to perpetuate a cycle. Christina, I'm coming to yours next. Oh my God, Christina, I love your comment so much. I'm coming to it next. You can choose to break generational cycles, or you can choose to perpetuate them. I think maybe one of the reasons we spoil Victoria the way that we do, and which we do, both Alyssa and I, is because we are being the parents that we wish we had. And I think that's what you do as a parent. I think that if you're one of the parents that are breaking generational trauma, breaking generational cycles, you are being the parent that you needed and you deserved to have. I want to talk about this because I love Christina's comment. We have had that exact same conversation. Exact same conversation. Yeah, I know. This is why I need to be in bed too, Jill, but I'm addicted to talking to y'all. So I'm coming back to your comment too, Judy. I feel like too many men are involved in making that decision, and to me, they have absolutely no right. I say take away their little blue pill too, because if it's God's plan for them as well. I could not agree with this comment anymore. There's just no way I could agree with this comment any more than I do. I 100% agree. I literally, when all this stuff was going on, and I think it was Kentucky, it was either Kentucky or Indiana, they were talking about this guy who was a legislator. I think a doctor was debating it. And dude was talking about ectopic pregnancies. Sorry, it's a hard word to say. Ectopic pregnancies. And how you could surgically remove the ectopic pregnancy and then reimplant it to be a viable pregnancy. And the doctor looked at him like, how dumb are you? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And the same thing for the little blue pill. Because I will tell you this right now. They could be out of their heart medicine. If they had to choose between their heart medicine, cholesterol medicine, diabetes medication, or Viagra or Cialis or the generic version of, they would stop taking the other medications and chance it to have Viagra. But yeah, maybe it's God's plan that if you can't get it up, that's God's way of saying that you don't need kids. If you think every pregnancy is a way that God's saying you need this kid, even if you're 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, if you can't get it up anymore, maybe that's the plan that you don't need to be having kids. You don't, or you don't need to be having sex anymore. I love your comment, Christina. It is, I 100% agree with you. Like 100%. No, I agree 100%. I don't think that men have any right involved in this. Most men can't understand any of that. Any of the whole process of pregnancy, anything about a woman's anatomy. The difference is they sure as fuck should not be making decisions. Christina got it 100% correct. And Mackenzie, I'm sorry you went through that. Yeah, I'm impressed by Gen Z. Gen Z just doesn't tolerate shit. They're going to save us all, I think. I think they were studying Viagra for like blood, maybe for Chris. I think they were studying it for like blood pressure, actually. Yeah, Franny, you guys are going to save us all. You're Gen A. You're Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha you're young then. How old are you? When did Gen Alpha start? My daughter's a Gen Alpha, right? years. You can't be Gen Alpha because then it means the oldest you could be is 12. Unless you meant to put Z. Because I hope I don't have 12-year-olds in my chat with these issues. Or make us regret our existence. Well, I think it's okay. She's from Gen A to Gen Z. Okay. I was like, no. I'm an elder millennial. I swear to God, if any of you Gen Zers call me a geriatric millennial, I'm kicking you out of this chat. I was born in 82. So, but Gen Z, yeah, but the thing is, if Gen Z makes us regret our existence, you know what? There's a reason for it, right? Okay, I got you, Nita. So you're a little behind, it looks like, on where we're at, because the cartel was a little bit ago. Okay, maybe that's it, Doug. I can check it when we get off then. But yeah, so anyway, I digress. I agree with y'all. I know that I have a lot of women here speak a lot on women's rights. It's something that I believe in because I just don't want, it's really kind of frustrating to me. The best way I've heard it with, and again, this does not apply to all of the baby boomer generation. It obviously does not apply to this, because there are some terrible people in every generation, and you're born in 91 technically makes you a millennial, Mackenzie. You're like a mid-millennial, mid-ish. But I don't know where I was going. I forgot what I was trying to say. Oh yeah, boomers. There's good and bad people in every generation, but a lot of the baby boomers, they had every door open for them and they slammed it shut behind them for every other generation. And it's just very frustrating. I feel like I know who you're talking about with this comment, Jessica. And I believe that she is from Georgia. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Absolutely. You're learning with YouTube on it. Let's see where I'm at on YouTube real quick. And then I got to go soon. I really do. So I'm at, I've hit over 3,000 subscribers. That's great. I'm at 3,019. That is awesome. So thank you guys for all of y'all's support. It is very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. My brother was born. That's why I said not all of y'all, Rebecca. Not all of y'all. There's good people and bad people in every generation. But I'm thinking about like my parents' generation. I don't know where you are because there's late boomers and there's early boomers. And the late boomers are really more like Gen Xers and the early boomers are, Well, you're not one of the ones that I'm referring to then. So you're my mother's age. My dad is technically silent gen. When my dad was born, the war was still going on for just a couple more months. But it's like the same thing too. The same people who voted for and marched for Roe v. Wade to happen are now the same people who are taking it away. I don't know. Thanks. Yeah, I can be a lot more real here than TikTok. I have to be very cautious on what I say because what happens on here's what happens on TikTok. It's not even so much TikTok itself as much as the people in it. So what TikTok has a tendency to do is if I piss somebody off, which happens frequently, but if I piss somebody off and I'm not going to name names on who, but I'll give an example. When Gabby Petito was going on, there was another creator who was covering Gabby Petito that I was never friends with. So it's not like people looking like it's Riley or something. It's not Riley. Which, by the way, Riley Lively and I are cool again, just for y'all to know. We had a mutual challenge, and now we're okay again. We had a mutual challenge that myself, her, and another creator had to deal with. And so, yeah, we're friends again, is my point. But anyways, there was another creator who was covering Gabby Petito, and I think that she was jealous of the creators that were really. So I was growing a lot. And this person was jealous that she would have her fans come in and mass report me. So I would get banned, and TikTok would ban me from like lives for like 3, 4, 5, 7 days in the middle of covering this trial. So I've had to turn myself, and the thing is, they would make these decisions and ban me, and then not overturn the ban even after they were. So what would happen is it's changed a little bit since then, but what would happen is they would ban you. You could appeal the ban, and if you won, they didn't take your punishment away. So if I got banned in a live and got banned for a week, I could appeal that decision. I would win the appeal, but they wouldn't reinstate my ability to go live again, and I would have to wait out the whole week. And so because of that, I've become extra cautious, almost like a PTSD type thing on TikTok. But here, completely different. I can put mature themes on my thing, and put that it's not for kids, and we are good to go. Yes, Jill, this is still live. You were just in here like a second ago. So I can be a lot more real here, is my point. But thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. Hopefully we keep growing. As soon as I hit the hours, I'll be able to monetize this account, which is great. And so I'll do a couple before I go. I'll do a couple housekeeping items. So y'all know, some TikTok, some not. Okay. So first, let me move this so y'all can see me in the whole thing. And a photo lab project would probably be fun. Okay, so a couple things real quick. First, tomorrow night on TikTok, I will be going live again, and it will be with Pascal. I don't know if we'll be doing Banfield. If Banfield only gave us 5 minutes to that on Kohberger, probably that much. So I'll do it with him tomorrow, starting at 9 p.m. Central Time. I was on Pascal's YouTube channel. He's got a great show. I've been on his show a couple times, so I'm trying to reciprocate the favor. I'm at like 3,600 hours. 36. I'll take exactly. Hold on. Oh man, that's a good sign. I like it. All right, I'll tell you how many hours I'm at, and then I'm gonna continue my housekeeping items because y'all are gonna want to know this stuff, I promise, and then I'll keep it short. Okay, so as of right now, it says I'm at 3617, so I need like 383 hours left, which I might get soon. So I'll be on with Pascal tomorrow. Y'all should definitely tune into that. He is great. Then the Friday night, for those of y'all who did not get to watch the 2020 episode, I think so, but I don't know if lives count. It's very confusing. I haven't quite figured it out, Britt. Are you, Josie? Then for 2020 on Friday, I'll start that at 9 o'clock. It's going to be uninterrupted, no commercials. I will actually probably not even be in here. I'll probably do some other stuff and just stream it for y'all. And then thank you. I appreciate that, Christina. If you just have a run through my things, thank you. And then on Wednesday, I will be doing a live with JB Buno with WFLA. I'm very, very excited about that. I will create that live this evening and probably start doing some promotions for it the next day or two. And lastly, let me see if I can do this real quick. Where'd my stuff go? I'm going to go back to this. Lastly, I'm going to do this one more time because I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I can do this way. Lastly, I will say, if you guys want, again, it's for me, it's an affiliate thing. So I'm very excited about doing this. It's the first time I've ever partnered with anything because I actually like it. So I'm proud. I'm proud to promote it. But if any of y'all want these tee, like the tee I'm wearing, which says everything is terrible. There's also the Have the Day You Deserve. I'll go back to ladies because there's mostly women in here. But like these are the types of things that they have. Everything is terrible. Living my okayest life, alive and anxious. There's a lot of like feminist type shirts in here for the women. No one asked you. All of these, I mean, they're great, right? They're like absolutely antisocial butterfly. If y'all want any of these, please. So what happens with it is you can type in my name, just type in Justin, at the checkout for a discount code, and it'll give you 10% off. And then they give me a little bit of a commission for it, is essentially because I'm just going to be very honest about it because I'm not hiding anything. I actually they don't give me my shirts either. I had to buy them, and then I just use my code also, and I get a commission from my own whatever. So I got a little bit of back on it. But I do love them. They're good quality, and each one of them is designed by like an artist, and they're made to order. So they're cool. I haven't gone this far into them, but yeah, I haven't gone to all of these, but I like this one. I've not seen this one. I think I should buy that. I think this is the next one I should buy. So if y'all have interest in that, please do, because I think that's awesome. I'm going to send this one to Alyssa because I think it's great. Actually, while I'm sitting here, I want to send it to her. I'm like, we should buy you this one. Yeah. Well, thank you, Erica. I appreciate y'all supporting. I think that they're cool because I love stuff like this. I just think that they're funny, and you have like different things you can do. There is not a Justin on TikTok shirt yet, but coming soon. So Alyssa we're going to try to, because I don't know how to make whatever, but we're going to try to, Alyssa got a cricket. We're going to try our hand at making a couple runs. And then if so, we will sell them. I think we're going to start out with a couple of like the things that I say, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Like the hold please, or Reddit's not a reliable source, or there was another one. I need to start writing down the ideas y'all give me because they're great. They should give me mine, but it's okay. I mean, I don't mind. It's because it supports the people who design them, which is cool, the artist or whatever. And they don't have to give me any portion of it, but it's cool. So anyways, yeah. I think that they're hilarious. I'm going to rock the hell out of them and continue to do so on live, and probably take the money that I make from the ones that y'all buy and buy more of them. What I'm probably going to do. But anyway, so got a lot of good stuff coming up. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. We've had a lot of people in here all night, so it's great. If you don't follow me and you're just coming in, you wandered upon me, please consider clicking the follow button or subscribe button, because I would love to continue to grow this channel, and hopefully y'all enjoy the chat. So that's funny. All right, well, I'm going to go. Oh, 75. Well, happy early birthday. I appreciate that, Josie. That's awesome. Happy early birthday. 75 is still young. It didn't used to be young, but it is now. You look at people in if you look at the Golden Girls, they were all in their 50s. But anyway, I digress. Y'all have a great evening. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Good night.